WLTC HD2 Casita and W221DP Columbus. This is Sportsvisions 92.1. You're listening to the Sportsvisions Morning Show, brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services and the Finley Firm. Here's DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Good Monday morning and welcome everybody to the Sportsvisions Morning Show. I am Walter and Betty Jones's baby boy, Daryl DJ Jones. Of course, this guy, we call him the Swiss Army Knife, of course, a.k.a. Richie Rich. His government name is Richard Holdridge. Good morning.
Great morning, DJ. Wow, what a weekend. I'm so excited just coming on the show with you and just recapping everything that came on the weekend, and let's go. This is why we do what we do.
I want to say good morning to Ricky Rogers as well as Bobby Brown. Hey, good morning. Listen, guys, we are on pins and needles here because we are expected to have the head coach for the Phenix City All-Stars, Coach Case Rasmus, with us this morning. I mean, you talk about a tight schedule, man.
Oh, yeah.
We have to get these guys in, and hopefully we'll get them in the next 4 or 5 minutes or so, and we'll be able to get them in and out. But, man, I tell you what, I'm excited to hear about the great schedule that they've had. They've been in town several days, and they won't play until Wednesday. However, I know that Coach Case Rasmus is focused and ready and has those All-Stars ready to play.
Yeah, I've been following them on social media. They've been taking a tour of the stadium at Williamsport. They've been modeling for those new Southeast jerseys they're going to be wearing, representing the Southeast in the Little League World Series. And the bracket is set, and I'm excited. They play Tacoma, Washington on Wednesday in the double elimination bracket for the Little League World Series. So it's going to be exciting times, and I know that this whole area is rooting for Phenix City Little League.
Absolutely. And again, I just want to go ahead and say hello to everybody out there in Facebook land as well as YouTube. We appreciate the fact that you allow us to help you get your day started. And I tell you, man, we wouldn't have it any other way, Richie.
Yeah. Where else are you going to get local sports talk radio 5 days a week, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9, as we technically had week 0 of high school football. And wow, what an incredible week of high school football. Some big upsets. You talk about rolling the dice with one team, and then we've got week 1 coming up because we still had some teams that played scrimmages, like Carver took on Lee County.
Right.
But, it's going to be a great time, and it starts on Thursday.
Absolutely. Did we get a score on that Carver-Lee County game?
Yeah, I gotta look that up. But I know the preseason. I know Double Coverage did a good job of getting those score updates. So I know that they lost by more than 2 touchdowns, but it's still
wait. Yeah. Who lost by more than 2?
Carver lost.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
They did lose to Lee County. Lee County's a 6A school. I mean, they're trying to figure things out. They just, I don't know. It's just preseason. But I tell you what, Double Coverage, they did a great job getting those score updates while we were at the broadcast for Calvary Bethlehem Christian. But yeah, we only had, I'm looking at, the 55-21. Lee County beat Carver.
55-21. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, I just keep a little that in the back of my brain there. That's, wow, 55 points. That's a lot of damn points.
Well, Lee County is competing for a state championship.
Well, Carver's a lot better than most as well.
Oh, I agree.
So again, no excuses. No. But you know what? That's the great part about playing these preseason scrimmages and playing up. That's what we've seen over the course of the past several years. The coaches that have been, had the courage to go out and play teams that will make them better on down the road. It doesn't matter what it looks like right now.
Exactly.
But when you go ahead and put your feet to the fire, early on, and you have, you have to be honest with yourself. And, big ups to Coach Jarvis Jones, being able to put his players and not worrying about any outside noise. And again, just, going up against the best competition, because he know at the end of the day, that was a practice game. And, when you see that kind of competitor, that kind of competition early on, then, hey, man, on the backside, around the end of the season, around playoff time, you are ready.
Yeah, and a big shout out to our newest media colleague, Mr. Telephone Man, Tim Woodson, who actually he now has media credentials for Denson Productions, was down there covering the game as well. So definitely I'm going to reach out to Tim and try to get those Carver updates when they're on the road, because they will be taking on Douglas of Atlanta this Friday.
Good deal. Now, Denson Productions, what is that?
That's Adam Denson. He goes around and he films high school basketball, football. So yeah, Timothy Woodson, our newest media colleague. That's awesome. I'm glad that he was able to get media credentials.
Good deal. Good deal. All right. Well, I tell you, coming up right now, let's go ahead and go up to Williamsport, Pennsylvania, home of the Little League World Series, where our very own Phenix City All-Stars, the Alabama State Championship, Coach Case Rasmus. Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Good morning. Doing good today. How y'all doing today?
I'm good, man. Listen, you look like you're tired already, buddy.
Ooh, I just getting going.
Hey, man, listen, I thank you, first of all, because, again, you didn't have to come on board, but for the benefit of the Sportsvisions Nation, we appreciate you keeping us engaged, keeping us in tune. We've been talking about how busy your schedule has been, and, again, I'm going to let you talk about, the experience for the first couple of days you've been in Williamsport.
It's been incredible, to say the least. The way they treat the kids up here is absolutely, kids, everybody, the coaches as well. It's been great. From the dorms we're staying in, the gear, all the kids got brand new helmets, bats, gloves, cleats. We got like a 2-hour deal with ESPN where the kids got to go in there and do full on interviews and hype videos and all kind of stuff like that. It's been awesome. I can't, I played a pretty high level. I think I made it a AA big league camp, and I'll say it is, it's right up there with it, if not much better. I can't speak to what a major league regular season was like necessarily from a personal experience, but this right here, that they treat these kids incredible. It's been awesome.
Coach, I know that you guys went up a little bit early and you won't play until Wednesday, but can you explain the significance of, obviously, not just because of the itinerary, but being there? Obviously, the kids get an opportunity to kind of get locked in, get focused, get all the newness out of it, and, of course, all the lights won't be as bright when they come game time.
Yeah, I'd say it's a huge advantage for sure, because it's a beautiful place. It's really incredible. But the landscape is kind of maybe a little tricky. There's a lot of hills. I mean, it's based on the side of a mountain, so there's a lot of walking, and so kind of just getting in the gear to walk quite as much as you walk, whether it be to the batting cages, the fields, and stuff like that. Just kind of getting used to it. So when day one comes, I think we're definitely, every day we're getting much better. We're kind of getting in tune, getting our rest in, and trying to catch up, because it was a busy few days for a while, and so now we've gotten past the media days and all that stuff, so now we're able to really focus on the baseball side of it.
Well, Coach, you change jerseys. You go from the Georgia jersey to the Southeast jersey. In fact, I saw pictures on social media with you guys modeling those brand new jerseys. Love the hat, by the way. Representing the Southeast, you're taking on Tacoma, Washington on Wednesday at 3 o'clock. Just leading up to the game itself, because you guys have been there for quite a while. What is just the mindset, and what is the practice schedule looking like? You able to take BP on the field, or do you have to go to like a different facility? Like what's that practice schedule like?
Well, first, just to correct you a little bit, I love my Georgia brothers as much as anybody, but we Alabama. We won Alabama, not Georgia. I'm just kidding.
Early, Coach. I know.
I barely taught it myself. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, to represent the Southeast is incredible. Represent Alabama, represent Phenix City, represent our area, Columbus, and Phenix City is super, super awesome. Once again, to reiterate, the support we got in regional was incredible. People up here talked about it. Man, there was so many people at that game, and we've had many people stop us and talk about how awesome the game was and the environment. So a lot of fun. Super excited to represent that. Like I said, looking forward to the game. I think we're in a good spot. Our kids are working hard. We're knocking the rust off after a couple of long days of traveling and things like that. So I do feel good about the spot we're in. Representing our region is an honor, something we definitely don't take for granted. And I know our kids are ready to get at it.
Coach Case Rasmus is our guest this morning on the Sportsvisions Morning Show, and of course the Phenix City All-Stars representing the state of Alabama, now representing the Southeast in Williamsport. Coach, I know when you get there and you have to, you got schedules, you got to figure out, hey, what's what. But what has helped you, with regards to being ambassadors for the Little League World Series? I mean, do they have obviously those ambassadors that make sure that you guys know where you have to go, when you have to be there? The practice, the batting practice, and all the different things. Do they have people there specifically to guide you guys and help you guys get to back and forth?
We basically have uncles, is what they call them. We have Larry and Bruce, and Larry and Bruce pretty much follow you around everywhere. And if you need anything, you ask them, and then they go through the proper channels to get whatever it is you need. And so they take you to, they walk you to practice, they walk you to the field, they walk you to photo shoots, and they walk you everywhere. So yeah, so we have those uncles that really, I mean, they do everything as far as getting a water jug, getting anything you can think of. Pretty much that they take care of it all.
Well, Coach, you've had more than a week to prepare to get ready for this game, and which means that your pitching staff is going to be reset. Talk about how that extra week's rest is going to help reset that pitching with Kenley Rasmus, Uri Berklight, and also your son Riker Rasmus. Just talk about how confident it is going into that game against Tacoma, knowing that your pitchers have had a lot of rest.
We feel good about our pitchers. We feel very good about what they've done in state and regional. And we know they're going to pound the strike zone. They're going to make the other team, have to beat them per se. Generally speaking, obviously they're 11, 12. So which Riker actually turns 12 on game day. So we know that based off of recent, performance, that they're going to go right at them, and that's a good thing about our pitching staff. With Brooks Cameron behind the plate catching them, I mean, our defense is pretty solid. Our pitchers do a great job. Our catcher does a great job, and so they're definitely looking forward to. They're well rested and ready to go.
Coach, I know this is not your concern, but you're the head ball coach and you know everything. Any packages or any special accommodations for folks leaving this area wanting to come see you guys play? Is there any information out there?
Special packages. I'm not sure.
Whether there's charter buses or whether they're a promotion, anything. I just if there are any. I'm asking. I'm not. I know that's not your job, but just in case you knew something, I want to give you every opportunity for the folks here to be that ones that can make it, and I know that's a big ask, but I'm sure that we're going to have some people from this area up there.
No, I've actually heard quite a few people say they're coming. I say I'm surprised, but then after looking at what happened at regional and the support we had, the people here are on fire. They're absolutely on fire for this team, for our community, for our region, and it's really awesome. It was very humbling, to see all of our people to come out and support the kids and. A lot of times we can get, as I made a crack with Mr. Richard earlier, we're Alabama, not Georgia. I think our kids have done a really good job of supporting the Bi-City area and people even from outside of our communities. We've had so many people reach out from across the country saying they're coming to watch us, and they've kind of clinged on to multiple things about us, whether it be Kenley, whether it be, our team and how we play the game. And so it's been a lot of fun and we're excited to see. But as far as anything in particular, at this point, I'm not sure I've heard of any, like, say, charter buses or whatnot. But if anybody wants to hop in and make that happen, hopefully somebody out there may possibly latch onto that. But as far as we're concerned, honestly, our parents are super. They've been awesome. They've been incredible. Our team mom, my wife, has been spectacular. Kenley's mom, Jill's done a great job. She's been up here with us as a player advocate. They've done a good job. All of our parents have really done a good job. But they're super excited, but it's been a whole lot going on. So like I said, I think we're going to get a lot of support, and we're really excited about it.
Lastly, and I know that, again, you got a lot going on. And again, I want to thank you for sharing in with the Sportsvisions Nation. These folks will be cheering for you. But give us that itinerary. I know you guys have had a tight schedule, but can you give us somewhat of some kind of example of how your day-to-day has gone and how it will continue to be up until you guys play?
First couple of days was basically wake up, breakfast at about 7:30, and then you go into, we had photo shoots, we had equipment try on, we had uniform try on, either ESPN interview, hype video type stuff. Then you have lunch, and then you have practice in the afternoon. And so that's what our plan today. We have 7:30 breakfast, 9 o'clock cages, lunch at 12 o'clock, 12:30, and then we have practice at 2 o'clock, and then we have call it a beef dinner at 5. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but I guess obviously some sort of beef for dinner. And then tonight we have like a coach's briefing meeting deal at 6. And in between that, the kids in the free time, they can play ping pong, basketball. They got all types of video games here. Pin trading. They've been trading pins like crazy, they've really clinged on to the Japanese kids. And it's funny that they're very few words they know. They've learned let's go, Lorenzo, And I think that's about it. But every time you see them, let's go, and so our kids learn. Our kids learn "let's go" in Japanese, and we're actually bunkmates with the team from Tijuana, Mexico. And it's cool because our assistant coach, Gus Quintero, he speaks full Spanish, so he's able to communicate with them really well. And we have Dominican Republic; they're right above us, and we try to get in bed at 9:00, 8:30, 9:00 every single night, and lay down by 9:00. And around 9:00, they tend to. I don't know what they do at 9:00 in Dominican, but it may include some foot stomping or something like that. But it's been a great experience. Our kids have loved it, and it's first class. I mean, I'm so excited for our kids. I'm excited for myself to be able to have these memories. It's a lot of fun.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for sharing that experience, man. We're going to be rooting for you. And again, you have a great rest of your morning. Take care.
Thank y'all. I appreciate it very much.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach Case Rasmus, man, I tell you that what an experience. Man,
wow.
We got to get in the ship. We got to get in the boat with him. And of course, man, I tell you what, not many have been, but there's windows of opportunity. And
Absolutely.
again, I'm just glad we were able to capture that.
Absolutely. And Georgia and Alabama going to be rooting
That's
for them.
right. That's right.
You can see right because they played in Georgia. So yeah, my mind kind of went there.
Coach caught you. He caught you right quick.
He caught me right away. And I'm like, okay, you know what I was trying to say, but yeah, we're rooting for Phenix City Little League out of Alabama.
All right, let's go ahead and take our first break of the day. You're watching Facebook Live as well as YouTube, and you're listening to WLTC HD2, Sports Visions 921. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
Stay tuned. More local and national sports coverage next on the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1.
Good morning. I'm Michelle Jennings, and here are your morning headlines. The Columbus Police Department's Violent Crime Unit is investigating a shooting that left 2 people injured. The shooting happened Sunday morning in the 5700 block of Cameo Street. There are no further details at this time. In other news, 2 murder suspects of a June shooting were found in the Muskogee County Jail facing carjacking charges. 26-year-old Waquay Harris and 19-year-old Tristan Cook are now charged with murder and armed robbery in the shooting death of 21-year-old Javian Bell. Harris and Cook are scheduled to appear in Recorder's Court Tuesday, August 18th. From WRBL News 3, I'm Michelle Jennings.
Good Monday morning. We are starting the day warm and muggy with temperatures already in the upper 70s. The big story is the dangerous heat with an extreme heat warning in Alabama and a heat advisory across Georgia. Expect plenty of sun today with highs in the upper 90s and heat index values pushing 110 to 113 degrees in some spots. Not much changes through the midweek, but there is finally some relief in sight with cooler temperatures and a better chance for showers and storms arriving this weekend.
To get the full story, visit sportsvisions921.com and click on the WRBL tab. Sports Visions 92.1.
Attorney Advertising, Georgia Attorney Blake Swan, 3225 Cumberland Boulevard, Atlanta, Georgia, 4046-204-059. Paid actor dramatization. Top Dog does not mean we are the best. No guarantees of success.
Do you know what dark times is? Dark times is when you're in the hospital bed, not knowing if you're going to make it. Dark times is when the doctor is telling you that you'll never be the same again. Those are dark times. When you think about it, you really don't even want to live because you're not going to be the same. You're not going to be who you used to be. Those are dark times. When your wife is looking at you, you got to question it like, are you going to be there for me? What you going to do? I'm talking to you. Answer the question. Doctor talking about you got to get your leg amputated. It's crazy. Being in a wheelchair for the rest of your life is even more crazy. 2 hours ago, you was fine, having a great day. Then all of a sudden, you get into an accident. It's crazy. That's why we're telling y'all about Top Dog. I'm telling y'all to call him Top Dog Law.
This hour brought to you in part by Gill's Auto Sales, now celebrating their 40th anniversary. Stop! Listen to this urgent message from 1-800-NEW-RATE. Don't pawn that title until you talk to 1-800-NEW-RATE first. If you need cash and have a free and clear title to your vehicle, don't pawn it before you call 1-800-899-6669. We offer monthly payments and also report to the credit bureau to help you build your great credit. With each payment paid, your balance will reduce until it's paid off. So if you have a free and clear title to your vehicle, call 1-800-NEW-RATE first to discuss your options. Don't pawn that title. Let us show you what a 1-800-NEW-RATE deal has to offer you. Just call 1-800-899-6669 to discuss your options. Don't wait. Call us today and let us show you how we can lower your payments and help your credit at the same time. Call now. 1-800-NEW-RATE at 1-800-899-6669. 1-800-899-6669. Call right now. Motors Acceptance Corporation, doing business as 1-800-NEW-RATE. Georgia Installment Lender License. NMLS number 1943997.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for waking up with the Sports Visions Morning Show. Let's get back to DJ and Thrift on Sports Visions 92.1.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones and Richard Holdridge in the building, broadcasting from the PMB studios in Midtown, Columbus, Georgia. Just a 40-yard dash or so down the street from the Aflac Tower. Big ups to Case Rasmus, man. I tell you, Richard, and obviously from dealing with them and having conversations, and you have to realize that, to get this interview in was huge because, again, these guys have a schedule. They have breakfast. They have, different things going on. A lot of it, even though most of it's out of the way now. However, it's still, you want to keep a sharp tune and a routine to this. And, to get us in and to be able to keep us, up to date on what's going on that was huge. I told Coach that I thanked him, and I appreciate the fact that, he took time because, again, I'm sure he had to, budget some time in that he didn't have, but he was able to fit us in. Yeah, I'm glad that we were able to get the interview with Coach Rasmus. You talk about their tight schedule, just every single minute of their day, they're either in a session where they're having, modeling the new uniforms or having like a certain media day, doing a feature story, getting ready for that broadcast on Wednesday. And it was great that I've been able to interview him several times now, but I know that it's all sinking in now. And I'm hoping that we could have watch parties in this area so we could root them on Wednesday, 3 o'clock on ESPN. They're taking on Tacoma, Washington. Well, one thing about watch parties is that some people have the comforts of a nice, luxurious screen and a big recliner at their homes. And again, getting out for watch party, as long as you're watching, and as long as you're keeping up, as long as you're rooting for the teams. Obviously that's what's most important, because this is a chance of a lifetime for those kids, and this is a chance of a lifetime for this community. Again, because they hadn't won a championship since 2006? 1999. Well, 2006 this area, Northern Little League. But Phenix City Little League hasn't won it since 1999 when they won the American Championship. Right. But that Northern Little League team, still beloved to this day. They won it in 2006, beating Japan. And I remember exactly watching that game because I was living up in Atlanta, and that's really when I first heard Columbus, Georgia, and it really put it on the map. Good, definitely good. Good. I'm sitting here. I'm texting Coach. Oh no, Coach. Good. So the bottom line is that people that want to know behind the scenes kind of thing, and we pride ourselves on peeling back the layers, going backstage, going behind the curtains, whatever it is, that give you that VIP special look of intimacy behind the scenes. That's what we wanted to see, and I'm sure the family, the friends, and the loved ones of those, not only the athletes and the coaches, but the fact of the matter, the community who has supported them, and a lot of people have watched these kids play. Their regular season, they watched them play the All-Star games, whether this to be the divisionals and the regionals and all. But some people have watched these kids play since they've been old enough to sign up and play Little League Baseball. And they want to know right now, this is almost the pinnacle. And I say almost because the championship game will be the pinnacle, but they've made it to the front porch. And to hear what these kids have going on, some people will be glued to the radio. If not, they'll go back, Richard, and I'll let you share with them how they can go back and hear that interview. Yeah, you can catch it on Facebook, YouTube. You can also
listen to us commercial free on Apple and Spotify, or you can just download the Sports Visions radio app and just listen to us anytime you want.
Absolutely. Again, can you imagine grandma, grandpa, auntie, and uncle, all the people that, even your little league, your middle school coaches and, your middle school and elementary school teachers. They all have poured into these kids. And I tell you, man, they want to know everything and that all the time about what's going on with these kids.
I'll tell you how I know this is a big deal. People in the community that I know, from church and from other things, they've come up to me and they've said they've seen the interview I did with Kenley Rasmus. I've been doing sports broadcasting for about 5 years now.
Right.
That's huge. When you have non-sports fans, they're paying attention to this story because this is more than just a sports story. Your casual sports fans and your fans that don't really pay attention to sports are paying attention to this, and that is huge.
Big ups to Rodney Lawrence, who's checking in this morning, as well as Stanley Crowell. We appreciate the fact that you allow us to help you get your day started. Bobby Brown and Ricky Rogers already checked in. So that's the first 4 seats of the front row of the Sports Visions morning show all filled up. And, of course, we are waiting and welcoming all the rest of you all to of course, do so. Richard will be taking the coffee orders here in a little bit.
Yeah,
and we'll make sure that you get your coffee and your Danishes as well, gentlemen.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. No, but DJ, I got to say, I know that we're about to get Coach Brunson on. A great win by Calvary. They ended up beating Bethlehem Christian. How about Pacelli rolling the dice, going for 2 and beating FPD? And then Brookstone, amazing comeback, just fell short against Westfield.
Nothing short of exciting, man. The opening week for GIAA, for the local teams in particular. But, you got to know that, those 3 teams, man, they came ready to play. And, again, I look forward to seeing them and following them. And I know with Brookstone coming off of that loss, hey, man, the big Brookstone-Spencer game is just going to be huge. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, that is going to be just a big game for public versus private school. The debate will finally be, solved. Is the depth of public schools going up against a team that is a little bit smaller but has a lot of talent in Brookstone? And I'm loving this matchup at Max Strong Stadium. Spencer coming up, and hopefully they could bring all their fans and pack that visitor side at Max Strong. But we'll have you covered on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Absolutely. And, of course, in addition to Coach Brunson, we got several other football coaches that'll be checking in with us. Of course, from the Troup County Tigers, Tanner Glisson will check in with us at 7 o'clock at 7:30. The Russell County Warriors, a team that's near and dear to your heart, Richard. Dillon Griggs is the head coach there. He'll be, of course, talking to us as he gets prepared to, of course, kick off their season. And, of course, from Bowtie Sports, Nubyjus, Wilborn.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that lineup. There's just a lot of things happening in the world of sports. I am really interested to hear what Nubyjus has to say about that meme with Tua and Michael Penix Jr.
So if as if everybody
knows.
No. You got somebody listening now, so don't leave them in the dark. You throw it out there. You got to let them know what's happening.
If we could show you the picture, we would. There is a meme with Michael Penix Jr. I don't know what he said, but he's pointing at Tua when he's on the bench. And this picture was taken right after that first drive where Tua ends up fumbling the snap, and it was not a very good look.
So what are you insinuating?
I'm insinuating Michael Penix Jr. was pointing at Tua saying, this guy's starting over me?
Well, here's the deal.
I'm kidding.
And again, it's fun, and a lot of people are having fun with it and all. But Michael Penix has not been cleared physically to perform.
Exactly.
So I don't give a damn what he says until the doctor says you are ready to go and ready to roll. We have to be pulling for our healthy, the best quarterback that we have, and that's Tua. So I'm not getting caught up in this stuff, meme or no meme. Michael Penix, and again, I'm sure it wasn't anything. Disrespectful that he was saying. People say what they want to say, and AI generated stuff now is
crazy.
It is crazy, but the bottom line is the Falcons, they're hurting and they need some help, and they're going to have have Tua to step up to the plate and really, this first preseason game was not indicative, I don't think, of what's going to happen. They're going to go out. The best thing can happen is they're going to get outside of the stadium, get outside of Metro Atlanta. They're going to leave Flowery Branch earlier this week, and they're going to fly out to Indy because they're going to not only play the Colts in their next preseason game, but they're going to have, practices with them, the dual sessions with them out there, and just so that kind of get away from all of that noise. Because again, I mean, they're human. They're human, and they read the papers, they see the news, they hear their friends talk, and but the bottom line is pulling it together sooner than later.
Yeah, I had to rewatch that game. First of all, Denver's defense, one of the best in the league. When the ones are playing, and I think that Tua just did not have the time to throw, and when he did, I mean, some of his throws were off target. It's something that he's just got to learn to just get better, and hopefully he'll have a bounce-back game when they do play the Colts.
Yes, indeed. Did get the chance to see some other folks that, around the league, some of them. And that's a good thing about watching preseason, if nothing else. At least seeing some of your heroes from college football, again, having the opportunity to try to make a roster. And, again, that's why I watch the games the way I do. Because, again, after, another week or so, the rosters will be what they are as the 53-man rosters, and a lot of our collegiate heroes will, of course, have hung their cleats up for the last time, and those that have made it will have an opportunity to fit in on whether it's the special teams or if they were high draft choices and expected to play right away. They'll have an opportunity to do their things. But all in all, preseason is fun, and I don't obviously take it as the gospel.
Yeah, and a couple of signings happened. First of all, the Cowboys ended up getting Von Miller. We all know he is a difference maker. He has won 2 Super Bowls with the Broncos and with the Rams. I mean, this is a difference maker on the field, and the Cowboys got a good one. And then the Seahawks getting Terry and Arnold. And I know that he might end up getting suspended, but the Seahawks, the rich get richer, the defending Super Bowl champions. And back to the Falcons, did you hear that James Pierce is going to be suspended for 8 games?
Yes, I did. So, yeah. And going back to Terry and Arnold, again, you're throwing stuff out there, Richard, but make sure these people know if they have a local connection, or why they should know it, because everybody is not as brilliant as you are with following these professionals.
Oh, you're right.
So,
DJ.
yeah, you're talking to you're talking to moms and pops out there. You're talking to uncles and aunties and guys that they're relying on you to educate them on these wonderful players, and that's what that's what we want.
Yeah, the former Alabama cornerback,
that's what I'm talking about,
is currently facing 8 felony charges, including kidnapping and armed robbery, from a June 2026 arrest. He is accused of orchestrating a violent retaliation over stolen property.
Have you been hanging out with Colin Scroggins?
Yeah, I have.
I can tell because you're going into all of these criminal charges and whatnot.
Here's the thing about Colin Scroggins. we had lunch with him on Saturday. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many people came up to Colin and they recognized him right away and they wanted to get a picture with him. Yeah, he's a celebrity in this town.
Yeah, and they recognized you too. I mean, you come on, don't try to downplay it. I mean, they knew you, Richard. I mean, they said, yeah, they was that you're that guy.
I tell you what, a crazy weekend. Thrift had me helping them out, auctioning off modeling for purses.
Purses as like female purses.
Female purses.
But now, man bag. I carry a man bag.
Yeah,
and I've always have. A lot of somebody mistaken it for thought it was a sling, but I carry this thing around my back on my back, on my shoulder, because again, you have a place for your wallet, a place for all of your notes, your phone, your power charger, your cord. We can't just have that in the pocket. So, and I like to go there so again, these bags, those bags that y'all were modeling didn't look like this.
No, I know, but it was for a good cause, for Columbus Hospice. And Colin Scroggins was part of it, and he invited Thrift, and then I just came for moral support, and then it turns out that I was in the lineup. They had me as one of the models.
Good deal. And I heard that everybody, again, here's a situation where Coach Brunson says that he can't log on, so we might just have to call him, and because that's usually what we do in with situations, and we it's blocking his mic and all that good stuff. So I don't know. You can just talk to him, Richard, and tell him in the meantime. But, yeah, those are the things we deal with, live here in the studio in the early mornings. And, again, folks, we make it just seem like it's just another day, and it just rolls right along because we handle it, and we handle it with care. Nothing like it, and we enjoy it. But as I mentioned, Coach Brunson will be coming up in a little bit. He had the opportunity to get his first victory in. Man, his quarterback was outstanding. His team was physical. I saw some big bodies that I'm waiting for him to explain to us who some of these guys are. It's been an incredible first opening week for him. And I really, really appreciate the fact that, he was able to get out of this. He's one of my favorites. He's one of my favorites because, coming up, I guess, several years back when he was hired, he didn't come in the front door with any of the, all of the accolades, all of the credentials that, you are supposed to have when you're a high school football coach in this area. But I'm somewhat for the underdog. I appreciate that. And, again, that's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah. And
cut your microphone off, sir.
That always happens every time I try to call the phone.
Yeah, you have a lot going on over there. I tell you, man, flying a plane is not easy.
DJ, let me tell you something. No, this is the time in the morning where you deal with technical difficulties. I mean, you saw what happened last week.
Yeah.
Going into another studio.
Yeah.
Storms, power, and stuff. But, I'm trying to learn from every experience that I'm trying to make sure that doesn't happen again. And I try to deal with that. But the mic situation, it's still, it's like, I don't know.
I got a front row seat to see you operate in all of this pressure, man. I love it. Let me ask you this. Should we take a quick break before we come back with Coach?
I think we should. Yeah, we'll take a quick break.
We'll take a quick break and we'll come back with Coach Emmanuel Brunson on the Sports Visions Morning Show.
Harder, better, faster, stronger. That don't kill me, can only make me stronger. I need you to hurry up now, cause I can't wait much longer. I know I got to be right now, cause I can't.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for making us your home for local, regional, national sports talk in the Chattahoochee Valley. This is Sports Visions 92.1.
Lori's Furniture Express, your express way to save.
It's that time of year again for cookouts and company and relaxing outside. So that means it's time for you to pay a visit to Gory's luxurious outdoor patio. Shop their beautiful outdoor furniture that's made to last season after season. And right now, it's all 25% off. And that's only at Gory's Furniture. You're going to love this place. Alabama Highway 169 in Opelika.
Tired of paying storage across town? For just $99 down, Action Buildings delivers your own 10x16 building. Set up right in your backyard. Your things stay close, on your property, and with room for whatever you need to store. And approval is easy. In-house financing with no credit. With over 600 positive reviews, Action Buildings is the name your neighbors trust. Head to 5371 Sidney Simons Boulevard, right off the Airport Thruway, or go to actionbuildings.com. Action Buildings, where extra space starts.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton, and I want to share with you the experience of Donna in Washington. She writes, I got injured about 5 years ago. I was let go when, because of the injury, I couldn't keep up with my schedule. I've tried to find other work, but I'm 68 now. No one wants to hire someone that old. This week is tough, though, because I had to get my tooth fixed. So I only have $10 in my checking account. But it will be okay. I at least have food because of this pantry. Millions of people face hunger, some every day, just like Donna. The Feeding America network of food banks helps provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Now, back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Here's Denver Broncos 1987 AFC champion DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones and Richard Holdridge in the building. Tell you what, high school football opened up with a bang, of course, on Friday night. And I tell you, man, one of my favorite coaches in the Bi-City area is a guy that we're going to bring up right now. Coach Emmanuel Brunson from Calvary Christian. Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Good morning. How you guys doing? Thank you for having me on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a pleasure, Coach. It's a pleasure. Congratulations on the opening win, 23-14 over Bethlehem Christian, and some questionable calls, if you will.
Yes, sir. And it was a lot of them. You know, my guys played a great game. They made their mistakes in that first game jitters, but there was a lot of calls that was against us that my guys didn't make.
I tell you what, though, again, I gotta love the fact that bad calls or not, you were able to keep your guys focused, and you kept them with their mind on their business, and that starts all the way back at training camp. I've spent several summers coming out and watching you guys and having an opportunity to speak with your team, and again, I've watched your routine and your coaches, the way that you're able to, of course, communicate with your players and your staff. It's something to see, and again, obviously, yesterday, or at least Friday, rather, it worked out and to your benefit.
Yes, sir. So the whole summer for us, going into off season and going into this season, was discipline. We got to be more disciplined. We have to be more disciplined than we were last year, and that has been our motto for this year, other than our win today motto. And we had a couple of breakdowns in the discipline part, but for the most part, man, my guys was pretty disciplined. I think we had one turnover. That was the fumble, and they know discipline just don't mean yes, ma'am, no, sir. It means in everything that you do, and especially on the field. So we was a lot more disciplined this year.
Coach, the defense played lights out. The 14 points that Bethlehem Christian put on the scoreboard was really because of special teams. Talk about how incredible the defense played, and who were some of the stars on defense.
Oh, man, bringing back Coach Michael Jones. He was with me in 23 when we had our state championship run, and bringing him back to run our defense. And his biggest thing was, hey, let's go out, play football, 11 hats to the ball, and you guys play like it's no tomorrow. And those guys played a heck of a game. Jackson Samra, I think he finished with 14 tackles on the game. Bull McGee, oh, man, he's our middle linebacker.
There we
go. For that game, we moved him down to D tackle, and that guy had a ball, man. He had a forced fumble, he had a fumble recovery, had multiple tackles. Wherever the ball was, he was. My sophomore defensive back, Caden Fox, his first time as a starter at defensive back, played a heck of a game. Matter of fact, I think he had one pass breakup, forced fumble that should have been a fumble. They said he was down. Who was Bailey? Just played a heck of a game over the top. So it was a lot of those guys that played an awesome game on defense.
Coach, it's not by happenstance that your ball players fly around to the football. Obviously, you practice that, then that's a part of part of your routine in practice. So, when everybody running to the ball, do you put emphasis, I'm sure, on that?
Oh, yes, sir. So, especially in our 11 versus 11 period, no matter where the ball at, if 11 has to the ball, whether the whistle has been blown dead, whatever it goes down, we want 11 has to the ball. And we practice that every single day in our 11 versus 11 period.
Coach, you have a quarterback, man, that he's pretty special. I know that if he hadn't been receiving any offers or any scouts looking at him, man, this kid is a kid to look at. He's a total package.
Yes, sir. Matter of fact, he got 5 offers already. Braxton came to this game with a little chip on his shoulder, and he wanted to show that he was more than what the eye could see, and came in. He finished 26 of 32, 330 yards and a touchdown. No interceptions. And last year, coming off of 2025 season, threw for 2,400 yards, 21 touchdowns, took 4 interceptions on the season. And 3 of those interceptions came the last 2 games of the season. So he's really efficient, and when the ball is in his hands, we always got a chance.
Well, I tell you what, Coach, I was on the sideline when Braxton Wilson just threw that dime breadbasket into the hands of Sawyer Talbot. He could definitely throw the football. He did have a touchdown pass to Sawyer as well. But just talk about the maturation process of having a returning starter at quarterback and some of the things that Braxton Wilkinson can do.
Just being able to step back in the pocket and say, hey, Coach, no matter what happens, I'm going to make a play for you. And with the receivers that we have, he's really confident running the offense. He's been in that offense for a while. So for him this year, just going in, moving the chains. As you seen Friday, I think it was like 3rd and 12. He dropped back, sat in the pocket, and found Sawyer across the middle of the field on a dig for a 13-yard gain for the first down. So moving the chains has been something he's been wanting to do, wanting to be focused on. And to just show coaches he's more than just that big arm that I can throw it 40, 50 yards down the field. I can also find those short and intermediate pass routes too, and I can drop down no matter where I'm at on the field.
Coach Emmanuel Brunson is our guest this morning on the Sportsvisions Morning Show, and Coach Brunson is the head ball coach for the Calvary Christian Knights football team. And Coach, I tell you, it wasn't too long ago, not too many years ago, when you got the call from Steve Smith, and of course, you were named the head football coach at Calvary, and there was some snickering amongst the ranks, and obviously, a lot of people. I say a lot of people, but there were some people that didn't think that not only that you deserved the job or that you had the credentials to get the job done, and obviously that put a chip on your shoulder early on. And man, I tell you what, from that time to now, I think you still wear that chip on your sleeve.
Oh, no doubt. When Coach Smith first told me that, I was going to be the head coach, and it was a lie, and could be still some that still may be doubting me right now, saying, hey, I still don't think he's the best man for the job. But for me, I go in every day, put that working hat on and say, hey, let's go to work. And my guys understand, the process when it comes to stepping on that field. And I just go in with them boots on and say, hey, it's time to work. And I put in the work every single day.
You're a man of faith, and you're a young man that obviously is not afraid of a little tutelage, or again, not that you don't accept it. It's just you welcome anybody that can help you, and I know that firsthand. Anybody that has a positive word for you or your team or your staff, you're willing to talk to them. You're willing to sit down and give them a talk. I mean, was that something that came about during your upbringing? Did your parents encourage you to listen to, not necessarily any and everybody, but the people that have done what you wanted to do, or were at least doing positive things and had something positive to say? They gave you the understanding that, hey, at least sit down and listen to what they have to say.
Oh, yes, sir. My dad always told me, no matter what the situation is, always listen. Before you even open your mouth, listen to what people have to say, take in what they have to say, and then you respond. So for me, no matter what the situation is, I'm always listen. I brought up to understand that no matter what happens, there's always good out of everything. So being in the military and just having that background, I'm always listening. I'm always invite people in to just give me their advice, and I'm always looking for advice.
Yeah, Coach, I love the fact you mentioned the military background, because we do have some listeners out there at Station of Fort Benning. So they know a thing or two. Like, we've known each other for a while now, being in the Georgia Army National Guard. Shout out to the 82nd Maintenance. But you got a tough road coming up against Mount Zion. They're a team. They're in 2A. They had an 8-4 record last year. What are you looking forward to facing a public school in the GHSA that's got a history of having success? But you guys are up for the challenge.
Oh, yes, sir. So when I was doing the schedule, my goal was to give us a chance to play some really good teams in the beginning to prepare us for our region. We got a tough region with Brookstone, Battalion, Strong Rock. So in order to be prepared for those games, I had to start off with a tough schedule. So, starting off with Bethlehem Christian, last year's playoff team, and then going into Mount Zion and watching them on film, man, they're tough. I think they returned all 4 of their DBs, and for us, playing against a team like that, being a passing team, we know how hard it's going to be. But again, my guys work their butts off. So, like I said Friday, we're coming to play a tough team, but they need to be ready.
Coach, your big guy, I believe you called him Bull McGee. Is that where did he come from? I know that he's a massive young fellow, and again, is he new on your roster?
Oh, yes, sir. So Jordan McGee came from Shaw, transferred in to us probably the latter part of April, May, going into June. And, man, he has been a big, big plus for us. And, again, he plays middle linebacker, but that kid can be moved anywhere. Now, as you've seen, he can run the ball as well.
Yes.
Get in front of him, he's probably going to run through your soul.
Yes.
So, he knows that he's a big part of what we do, man, and I'm super excited to have him.
Coach, another transfer that looked fantastic was Robert Bailey. Talk about some of the skill sets that he brings to the Calvary offense and defense, just being just a tremendous athlete.
Oh, man, Robert is another one that transferred in from Shaw. That kid is electric. Friday, since he came in so late, that he didn't get a chance to have the summer that we had. But you can see when the ball is in his hands, he is electric. I think he had one play that went 17 yards, and he was one block away. And he brought the ball all the way from the other side of the field. Made 2 or 3 guys miss, and he would have had that one more block. He would have took it to the house. So we know when we got him and the ball is in his hands again, he's another one with them other three receivers that we have that can take it to the house at any time.
Coach Brunson, before we let you go, is it anything you want to say to, of course, the Calvary Christian Knights Nation to rally the troops as you embark on, of course, the second week of the season?
To be honest, there's not too much to say. You seen it Friday. It was over 2,000 fans in the stands. That's what our Calvary Knights family brings to the atmosphere. So I want to thank our Calvary Knights family, not just our Calvary Knights family, but everybody that came to watch us. Continue to support. We're going to continue to do our job, and we love to see everybody at our games.
All right. Good luck, Coach, and have a great rest of your morning.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Coach Emmanuel Brunson with the Calvary Christian Knights. I tell you, man, that's a special young man.
Yeah, and I tell you what, in my opinion, being on the sideline for that game, that was the most fans I've ever seen in a Calvary football game.
Really?
By far.
Yeah.
And like, I wasn't there when they played Brookstone last year or Pacelli 2 years ago, but I know that the bleachers have doubled in size.
Yes.
They've improved the facilities. They have concessions right underneath the press box. They have more lines for concessions. They had fans that were all over, because they have a little gazebo area, like picnic table areas, and fans had their folding chairs up on that hill. And they actually increased the bleacher size for the visiting team as well. So Bethlehem Christian brought a lot of fans as well. But he was definitely spot on. At least 2,000 fans there. It was an amazing atmosphere. And it was really the only regular season game in town. So there was a lot of people who weren't even affiliated with the school that was there in attendance.
Richard, I want to commend you on the great job that you did as the sideline reporter. Those hits that you did were strong. And again, the broadcast was tremendous. Thrift and, of course, Mike Frost did their thing. And I tell you, man, looking forward to it. You guys set the table.
Well, first of all, I spotted A.J. Robinson, immediately pulled him out of the stands and got him for that first quarter interview. Country music singer, goes to Calvary.
Yeah.
But I love being a sideline reporter. You just being on the field, just feeling the excitement on the field of the plays. And actually, when you're on the field like that, you could see plays in real time happening, and you could feel and hear those hits. And that's why I enjoy being a sideline reporter. And that was a fantastic broadcast. Josiah Berry did a great job as the on-field camera. Louis Sandville, he was the camera right in the top of the bleachers. And then Chris Gates did a great job producing Thrift and Mike. That had to be one of the best broadcasts we've done on Georgia Alabama Sports Live by far.
Good deal. Good deal. Tell you, man, coming up in just a little bit, we're going to go from one coach to the other. Of course, Tanner Glisson will be with us here in just a little bit. We got a couple of minutes here before we go to the top of the hour break. But when you talk about, some of the best football in, of course, the LaGrange, Troup area, man, Tanner Glisson, they don't get any better than that. Not only is he an outstanding football coach and has an outstanding football program, but he's also the baseball coach.
Yeah.
And he has a tremendous baseball program. And one of not a whole lot of coaches that are double dipping as far as coaching two sports. And, that's a tremendous job within itself to coach one sport, but to coach two sports and not just coach them, but to be good at it, that's special.
Yeah, I'm excited about Troup County this year. They actually will go on the road to take on Hampton and then LaGrange next week in a non-region game as Troup County is in 4A. They are replacing a starting quarterback in Garrison Edwards, who's now at Navy. But you have, I think Davis Moncus might be their start. He's got an option. We'll have to find out who their starting quarterback is, but they got one of the top defensive players in the state, Jeremiah Culpepper, who this guy is a beast on defense. We saw him last year against Mary Persons and Sandy Creek just wreak havoc on that defensive side of the ball. So looking forward to hearing from Coach Glisson as they got a big matchup against Hampton.
Who's the outstanding baseball player that we saw play down at Golden Park during the GIAA tournament?
Davis Moncus.
That kid, he was everything and more. I mean, had size, speed, and obviously he has an explosive arm, but I understand he's even better center fielder.
Yeah, and he's a tremendous athlete. He definitely is a great receiver, could play quarterback. So I'm interested to see if Coach Glisson is going to have him in at quarterback. But when you have an athlete like that, you got to have him on the field at all times trying to make plays.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Richard, tell me a little bit about, obviously, what it was like by not being in the studio doing the studio show and being on location as a sideline reporter. I mean, is it something that you look forward to this year, or is it?
I do.
Okay.
I do, because I love being that in front of that atmosphere, just talking to the fans and just feeling Friday Night Lights, something that I didn't get to experience doing the studio show because I was cooped up in a studio. Usually me and the producer just sitting there with like multiple devices, watching multiple games. And it kind of got a little tedious, but I knew that it was what I love doing and it was my niche, but I also love being a part of high school football. But we still have the scoreboard show after the football game. So, we have to hightail it out of there to get to the studio to do the scoreboard show, not just for the GIAA, but we're also implementing a GSL scoreboard show as well. And it was a trial run. We only had 3 games in the area that were regular season games, and the show lasted about 8 minutes, but it's going to be a little bit longer as we're going to break down all the scores from around the Chattahoochee Valley for week 1.
I remember hearing an old coach years ago tell me that, son, the more you do, the more valuable you are to the team. So you're a chameleon, Richard. You're versatile. And again, obviously, the more you do, the more valuable you become.
Well, that's what I do. I just want to follow up and study as much as I can on high school football, not just in this area, but both states, Alabama and Georgia, because we do have visiting teams that we need to follow up on. And I think that having that knowledge of the entire states is really going to help me be valuable because I'm doing my research on these teams and learning everything I need to know about high school football.
All right, don't go anywhere. Coming up in just a little bit, we'll have an opportunity to hear from the head ball coach from, of course, Troup County, the Tigers. Tanner Glisson coming up on the Sportsvisions Morning Show. You're watching Facebook Live as well as YouTube, and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sportsvisions 921. We'll be right back after these messages.
This is the Sportsvisions Morning Show.
Let's do this.
Sportsvisions 92.1.
Listen, were you forced into getting a solar contract and now you just don't want it anymore? Maybe the solar company misled you. Or is your solar contract buried with hidden fees? Are you not saving the amount of money you thought you would on your energy costs? Don't worry. At the Solar Exit Hotline, we can help you cancel your solar contract, even if the panels are already installed. Our experienced legal team will review your contract and help you cancel it, possibly saving you thousands of dollars. You got to call right now for complete details. So listen, if you're not happy with your solar contract for any reason, we are here to help you cancel it. Call the Solar Exit Hotline now for immediate options to help you exit your solar contract. This call is 100% free.
800-908-7197. 800-908-7197. 800-908-7197. That's 800-908-7197.
Hey, it's the Hubster, Gills Auto Sales, your #1 pre-owned dealer in Georgia and Alabama. We have over 400 vehicles to choose from, like new ones and hard-to-find ones. Back that up with a free 30-month, 30,000-mile warranty and great financing in 6 locations. And you got the one dealership that everybody in the Valley loves, Gills Auto Sales, celebrating 40 years. And you can always find the Hubster at Gills on Highway 80 in good old Phenix City, Alabama.
Heading to a Columbus Clingstones home game? Here's a sweet reason to cheer even louder. If the Clingstones throw a no-hitter through the first 3 innings, every fan with a game ticket can take that ticket to either Golden Donut location and redeem it for 1 free glazed donut. Golden Donut on Manchester Expressway and Winton Road. Let's have some straight talk. Are you sick of being trapped in a title pawn or just need a loan? Call 1-800-NEW-RATE. If you're in a title pawn trap, we can get you out. We save you thousands in interest. We lower your payments, possibly cut your payments in half, and you get up to $1,000 in extra cash. That's $1,000 extra cash. And your first payment's not due for up to 45 days. Call 1-800-NEW-RATE at 1-800-899-6669. It's fast, it's easy, and you can get approved right over the phone and get your check check today. Do you need to pay off that high-interest title pond loan? Then call right now to 1-800-899-6669. Call 1-800-NEW-RATE at 1-800-899-6669. Did I mention you can get up to $1,000 in extra cash? That's 1-800-NEW-RATE. Get approved right over the phone and get your check today. Call now to 1-800-899-6669. Motors Acceptance Corporation. Doing business as 1-800-NEW-RATE. Georgia Installment Lender License. NMLS number 1943997.
WLTC HD2 Casita and W221DP Columbus. You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1. Covering local and national sports. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show on Sports Visions 92.1. Drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Green Bay Packers. Here's DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. It's a memorable Monday. And Rich, what you got playing there, bud?
Oh, boy. Jay Sean, probably the biggest hit in 2009.
Yeah, I guess it's going here in the morning. I can see Coach bobbing his head walking down the hallways there up Troup County. Good morning, Coach. How you doing, bud? Coach Tanner, how you doing?
There he is.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can. We sure can. Hey, I saw you bobbing a little bit, bobbing and weaving there, man. You got some good footwork going there. You can dance.
Man, y'all caught me doing my morning duties, baby. I'm getting the protein machine set up.
Yeah.
Getting everything ready to roll, baby. I mean, here we are. Let's go, man. It's game week.
Hey, it's game week. But look, before we get into the heavy lifting, you're a baseball guy, and you got to talk about how special it is for us to have 12 and under Phenix City All-Stars representing the region at up in Williamsport at the Little League World Series, man. Is that huge or what?
Man, yeah, that's great. I remember when years ago, we had a team down there do the same thing. And, just to be able to follow those guys, and it's fun for me because you get to see them as they grow older. I can remember the good Columbus High teams that had guys that played on Little League World Series teams and stuff. And go to Williamsport, man, that's a great venue. And we're just proud of them, man. That's a great thing. So good luck to those guys.
Well, Coach, I know that you got a road matchup against Hampton as you are now in a new classification in 4A. Yep. LaGrange is actually in 5A, so they're no longer a region opponent. You got to play them in 2 weeks at Callaway Stadium. Talk about what you're looking forward to playing a tough non-region schedule, facing Calhoun at Callaway Stadium before you dive into this new region you guys are in.
Now, Thrift, you know that it don't make a hill of beans to us if they're in our region or not.
No, still a big rivalry.
No, I'm just kidding. The biggest deal is, we put together with this power ranking stuff now, you got to put together a really good schedule, and so we're going to open up on the road at Hampton. And in some polls, Hampton's like number 9, number 10 ranked team, maybe just outside of the top 10. They were in 4A last year. They went 8-3. They've got maybe what some people consider the number 1 overall prospect in Georgia. The kid is going to Texas A&M. He's a really, really good player. They're bringing back a quarterback who's a 4-year starter. So they got a really, really good looking football team. So that's going to be a challenge for us on the road. Then we got to come home, and it's going to be a big one between us and LaGrange. Obviously, that goes without being said, really. And then a top 2 or 3 team in Calhoun in our same classification will come here. Their quarterback's committed to Clemson. They're a really good player. He won the state championship as a freshman quarterback. And so, we're going to have those 3 tough tests early on, and then we're going to get into the region play, and you got Mary Persons and Peach County and those teams sitting right there. So, man, this schedule, I think we counted the other day, we have 5 or 6 teams that are ranked in the top 10 on our 10-game schedule. But with the power rankings and stuff, that's a good thing. We need to be battle tested. It's going to help our strength of schedule. And so we're excited about kicking this thing off and getting it going, man.
Coach, I love interviewing you because not only do you give us all the little nuggets and everything, all the great information, but you also give us a tour of that beautiful facility that you have. Is that the indoor facility that you're in now, or is that the locker room?
That's the indoor. That's the indoor. I'm walking around doing my duties. We practiced last night, and so we came in Sunday night and had a practice. And my job is to make sure I get all the protein and everything ready for the guys when they come in here at 7:30 in the morning. And so all of our coaches have duties and responsibilities, and I'm the protein machine man.
I got you. Now, I tell you what, one of the questions that I'm sure that you've been asked for probably for the last, since the season ended last year, who's going to be your quarterback this year? Because you lost a good one.
Yeah, it's no surprise to anybody in this area. It's going to be Chase Lee. Chase Mosley, our shortstop in baseball, he's committed to Georgia Southern. He started for us at corner last year. He's really played quarterback, most all his life. But we had Garrison Edwards, who's gone on to the Naval Academy to play defensive back for us. That was really good. But Chase is going to take over the reins at quarterback. We've been extremely pleased with it, but it's no shocker to us. If you go back, DJ, and you look at just the history since we've been here in 12 years and the quarterbacks that we put out, it's been Montez Crow, who threw for over 4,000 yards, Kobe Hudson, who was an Army All-American, Teo Todd, who's at Georgia Southern, and now Garrison Edwards at Naval Academy, and now Chase Mosley. And he'll be the next one. He's going to surprise a lot of people. He's got as quick release as we've ever had here, getting the ball out. He can process things really, really well. He's a great leader in the locker room. The kids just absolutely love him. And obviously being our shortstop, he's a great athlete. His dad coaches for us. We're super excited about Chase.
Coach, Jeremiah Culpepper, what makes him a special defensive player, and talk about the impact he has on the field?
Yeah, number one, Thrift, he's long and rangy. He's committed to Ole Miss. Just an outstanding human being. Just a great leader for us. I taught his mama when I was coaching in Manchester, so I've known that family for a long time. They're out of Pine Mountain, and the biggest thing is, Thrift, when he committed to Ole Miss, I think that really settled things down for him, and that was really a great thing that he was able to go and put that behind him. And just go ahead and focus on trying to get better and what he could do to make Troup better. And he's been a fantastic leader for J.C. Copeland and his bunch over there on the defensive side of the ball. But he's long, rangy, can really run. But on top of that, man, he's just a great leader. And when you can combine those two things, that's really great.
Coach Tanner Glisson is our guest this morning on the Sports Visions Morning Show, and he's the head football coach for the Troup County Tigers. Coach, you're thinking this Thrift is Richard Holdridge in the studio with us. Thrift will be in a little bit.
Man, I'm sorry, Richard. I didn't even look over there. I should have seen that you didn't have that much hair going on.
Yeah, I don't have the hair that Thrift has.
Hey, DJ, that's what happens when I try to multitask.
Yeah, exactly. You're breaking up just a little bit, Coach, and hopefully.
I should have known Thrift was still sitting in the bed while Richard was working. My bad, Richard.
Hey, yeah, that's okay, Coach.
Sorry, Coach.
That's all right, But Coach, let me ask you this, and this is something I'm sure that you have done since you've been in, the head coach there. Is as far as the routine and the rituals and the culture of the program. I mean, getting going and getting everybody all excited. I know that this is not old hat. How do you keep it fresh?
Well, DJ, I'm going to tell you this. It's getting harder and harder every year right now to get in a routine. School's starting earlier than it ever has started for people. You got all these heat regulations going on. Dale McGee and I used to talk about it. It used to take about 18 days to get guys into a routine. Mm-hmm. And but right now it's hard to get into a routine because the school, like I said, starting earlier. You don't know if you're going to be inside or outside. We had our first full week of school last week, so this will be our second week of school. And it takes about those 18 days to kind of get guys acclimated and get everybody situated into their roles. But as for me, I'm just as excited in year 26 as I ever have been. And it's because of the kids. The kids make it real easy when they're excited, when we have good leaders on the team. We're pumped up and ready to roll.
Yeah, Coach, one thing about the area, you face Callaway in the preseason, and you're about to face LaGrange. Obviously, the talent level in Troup County is really off the charts. What does that attest to? I know Long Cane has really been a great feeder system as a great middle school, but you guys cover a broad area just outside of the LaGrange city limits, including West Point and just the outskirts of LaGrange. Talk about where all this talent's coming from.
Yeah, Richard, I mean, the biggest deal is, people in this area just love ball, man. And so that's the biggest thing, whether it be us, Callaway, LaGrange. There's really good football players in this area. There's no doubt about that. and they're just tough kids. We get tickled to death when we see kids down there at Long Cane. Dustin Ward down there does a tremendous job with our program. I've said it many times. My wife's the principal down there, so it allows us an in to the school to get down there and get our hands on kids. I tell you what, the ninth grade class that we received from Long Cane might be the best class we've ever received this year. Really, really good. We had a couple guys move in from Callaway, a couple guys move in from Harris County that joined that ninth grade group. Kadarian Smith from Harris County, who's a running back who's really, really good. R.J. Dunn came over from Callaway, who's really, really good. They all moved in last year down into Long Cane. That West Point area just keeps producing kids. Between West Point and Lynette, Alabama, there are so many good athletes down in that area. And, for whatever reason, we've had a hot run with guys wanting to come to Troup. In that middle school time, they can really pick where they want to go. There's really no Georgia high school stipulations on, as a middle schooler where you go. As long as that first day of school, we're an open enrollment county, so any kid can come here as long as they start here the first day as a ninth grader. So we get a lot of kids from Meriwether County, from Harris County, down in the West Point area that could pick to go to Harris County or Troup. They're kind of right there on the line. But as long as they start here as a ninth grader, they're kind of good to go. And it's a real talented group that we have as ninth graders.
While we're talking about these student athletes, Coach, obviously I know that you take a great deal of pride, of course, in developing them. Have you already heard from some of the kids that went on to the next level? Have you heard any reports back as to who should we look to hear from this fall?
Yeah, DJ, they're all in fall camp right now. So communication's been a little, slow.
Yeah.
But we're looking at, we got a defensive back, Quay Moss, that's going to hopefully start at Tennessee. That's a really good player. You got Noah Dixon over at Clemson, and they're going to open up with LSU. You got Teo Todd down there at Georgia Southern, who's going into his third year, so hopefully he's going to start getting a lot of playing time. Garrison Edwards up at Naval Academy. I'm going to get in trouble, DJ, because I'm going to start naming people, and I'm going to leave off a whole bunch.
But you've already you mentioned a bunch of them already.
Yeah, well, Quay Moss and Hall are both teammates up at East Tennessee State. So we got Jatorian Blackman. I saw pictures of him over at Troy the other day, offensive lineman, left tackle. He looks tremendous. I mean, he's really slimmed up a little bit. He left here at 340, and I think he's down about 315. And he really, really looks good. And so we're excited. That's one great thing. That first Saturday, I'll be clicking, trying to figure out where everybody's playing at. And those guys are doing a tremendous job, and we're really excited for them and their opportunities.
I tell you one thing, Coach, obviously with the great facility that you have and those schools that you named, man, were some of the tops in America. Do you have any space or any designated part of the facility that you got pictures of these these players
It's funny that you bring that up. We're just doing a new Wall of Fame that's going up next week, and we've got it all down the hallway. So we're excited to see that. I'll come on in a week or two and show y'all the finished product. And but it's going to be a really sight to see. You got people like Reuben Foster on there. You got Jamari Thrash, who's currently with the Cleveland Browns, is going to be on there. Kobe Hudson.
Yeah.
You're going to have a lot of those guys. Keem Makutas. It's going to be something to see. So we're excited about kind of showing off our history to some of these young guys.
Coach, I worked up in LaGrange for 6 years, so I know about the uniqueness and the passion from the fans. You have that coaches show over there at your pie pizza place with you, Coach Wiggins at Callaway, Coach Napier at LaGrange. Talk about what that means just to have like that weekly coaches show that really brings the community together. And you guys do a fantastic job. I know that Eagle 102 does a great job putting that on. Talk about what that means just for the community.
Yeah, Richard, that actually starts up tonight.
There we go.
Yeah, Callaway goes at 6:30. We go at 7, and LaGrange goes at 7:30. The biggest deal is, the rivalry aspect of it, right? So all the kids and all the parents kind of get caught up in that. Us three coaches are really cordial and really share ideas. We had a great opportunity, Richard. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, our superintendent got all three of the head coaches to come speak to all the principals and her cabinet, our cabinet at our central office. And it was like a Q&A where we kind of set up front in 3 chairs, and they gave us a microphone, and we spent about an hour talking to the people in our school system, the powers to be, so to speak. And that was a really, really cool moment that we were able to talk about how we coach, because coaching is just like the classroom, right? Here we get kids at a certain level, and we're trying to elevate those kids and take them from where they are and elevate them, right? And so the camaraderie between the 3 head coaches. Now, we keep it close to the vest, because of the rivalry aspect of it, and all. But there's a mutual respect in this county. I've said it before, and I stand on this. There is not a county in the state of Georgia with 3 high schools, not 2, 3 high schools that have as much success as Troup County with Troup County, Callaway, and LaGrange. I mean, that's just unrivaled anywhere else in the state of Georgia with 3.
Absolutely. Coach, before we let you get out of here, you know what the drill is. We're going to give you an opportunity to talk to all of those former players, alumni, and boosters and fans of Troup County football and tell them why they should definitely come out and support the Troup County Tigers this year.
Yeah, number one, we had our scrimmage game with Callaway 2 weeks ago, and it was a packed house. We had a great turnout. We really appreciate everybody coming out. We had our annual steak dinner Saturday night. And we sold 250 tickets to come out and support us in our lunchroom, and the community did a fantastic job with that. And the biggest deal is whether it be Troup Nation or just people that like to see good football. We got a good football team. We don't know how good yet, but we got a good football team. Hopefully, we progress as the season goes on. But we hope that everybody comes out. I hope it's a great environment. I hope it's great football, and it's got a great schedule. So come on out and see us.
Coach Glisson, we appreciate you, big guy. Hey, look, we wish you the best of luck and have a great rest of your morning.
DJ, I appreciate you very much. Richard. I appreciate you too, brother.
Thanks, Coach. Right. Take care, buddy.
Y'all have a good one.
All right. Gotta love him. Gotta love him, Coach Glisson, man. That guy
Glisson
is full of energy and passion. And again, you can tell that's why those Troup County Tigers, man, are off the chain up there.
Absolutely. And they have got a great schedule, and I'm excited about that LaGrange game in 2 weeks. You talk about a rivalry among rivalries, and it's a non-region game with LaGrange being in 5A now. Callaway Stadium is going to be packed. I've been there a couple times. It's an absolutely gorgeous stadium, and really the whole city of LaGrange comes out and supports their teams.
And, Richard, before we go to the next break, I just got to do something because Bobby Brown reminded us. For all of our friends out there in WLTC HD2 Sportsvisions 921 land, we love you, but it ain't a damn thing you can do about it. Hello, somebody. Richard, let's go to a break.
Let's do it.
So watch me bring the fire, set the night light. Shoes on, get up in the morning, cup of milk, let's ride.
This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
Let's do this.
Sports Visions 92.1.
Good morning. I'm Michelle Jennings, and here are your morning headlines. The Columbus Police Department's Violent Crime Unit is investigating a shooting that left 2 people injured. The shooting happened Sunday morning in the 5700 block of Cameo Street. There are no further details at this time. In other news, 2 murder suspects of a June shooting were found in the Muskogee County Jail facing carjacking charges. 26-year-old Waquay Harris and 19-year-old Tristan Cook are now charged with murder and armed robbery in the shooting death of 21-year-old Javian Bell. Harris and Cook are scheduled to appear in Recorder's Court Tuesday, August 18th. From WRBL News 3, I'm Michelle Jennings.
Good Monday morning. We are starting the day warm and muggy with temperatures already in the upper 70s. The big story is the dangerous heat with an extreme heat warning in Alabama and a heat advisory across Georgia. Expect plenty of sun today with highs in the upper 90s and heat index values pushing 110 to 113 degrees in some spots. Not much changes through the midweek, but there is finally some relief in sight with cooler temperatures and a better chance for showers and storms arriving this weekend.
To get the full story, visit sportsvisions921.com and click on the WRBL tab. Sportsvisions 92.1.
Attorney Advertising, Georgia Attorney Blake Swan, 3225 Cumberland Boulevard, Atlanta, Georgia, 4046-204059. Paid actor dramatization. Top Dog does not mean we are the best. No guarantees of success.
Do you know what dark times is? Dark times is when you're in the hospital bed, not knowing if you're going to make it. Dark times is when the doctor is telling you that you'll never be the same again. Those are dark times. When you think about it, you really don't even want to live because you're not going to be the same. You're not going to be who you used to be. Those are dark times. When your wife is looking at you, you got to question it like, are you going to be there for me? What you going to do? I'm talking to you. Answer the question. Doctor talking about you got to get your leg amputated. It's crazy. Being in a wheelchair for the rest of your life is even more crazy. 2 hours ago, you was fine. Having a great day. Then all of a sudden, you get into an accident. It's crazy. That's why we're telling y'all about Top Dog. I'm telling y'all to call him Top Dog Law.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show, brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services and the Finley Firm. Now back to DJ and Thrift on Sports Visions 92.1.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. It's a memorable Monday here at the PMB Studios, and we're broadcasting from Midtown Columbus, Georgia, just right off of Whitten Road. Phenix City Little League All-Stars representing the Southeast have not played yet, but their opening game in, of course, Williamsport will be this Wednesday, not today, not tomorrow, but Wednesday, and they'll be taking on the Northwest winner. Of course, they're called Soundview out of Tacoma, Washington.
Yeah, looking forward to that matchup, a double elimination tournament that has international teams, and they're just soaking it all in. They will be at Williamsport for a week before they actually start playing games, and we are all pulling for them in this area in Alabama and in Georgia as they represent in the Southeast.
Game one, of course, that'll take place will be an international game, Latin America versus the Caribbean. That'll be a 1 o'clock first pitch. Game two will feature the Southeast versus the Northwest. And, of course, that will be, of course, the Columbus, or at least the Phenix City All-Stars. They'll be getting underway. You can catch all the action on ESPN2, no doubt about it. You don't have to worry about any streaming services. ESPN full-blown. The big station will be taking it on. And, you know what? One thing that I do know that the Atlanta Braves have, you know, they're going to have a crazy schedule, a 6-game schedule, and they're going to have the opportunity to not only play up and around Williamsport, but they're actually going to play in Williamsport,
yes,
I believe on the 23rd of next week. And but that's part of the whole festivities of the Little League World Series and the folks up at Williamsport for the Braves to come in there to play the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, they have a very unique road trip. They're going to be taking on the Minnesota Twins, and they got to take on the Chicago White Sox for one game. And then they're going to be on the road in Milwaukee. Luckily, all these places are close together.
Oh, yeah.
And then they got to fly to Williamsport to take on the Milwaukee Brewers in the Little League Classic, which you could catch this Sunday on ESPN.
Absolutely. And I tell you what a wonderful opportunity for these kids to get up close and personal with Major League Baseball players.
Absolutely.
Most of these kids now, they're at the pinnacle of their careers by being at Williamsport in the Little League World Series. But again, even at that, some of these, and here's something to think about, Richard. Some of these professional ball players that'll be there, the major league ball players, meaning that the best in the world, they didn't get an opportunity to go to Williamsport to play in the Little League World Series themselves. So I'm sure that a little bit of that same feeling that the kids will be giving as far as esteem to the Major League Baseball players, I'm sure that the Major League Baseball players will be recapturing some of that emotion and imagination of when they were young, playing at 10, 11, and 12 years old, and not being able to go to the Little League World Series.
Yeah, both are going to get to experience exactly what they haven't been able to experience, because really just a shorthand of players have played in the Little League World Series and has gone on to play in the majors. There's not that many out there. And so there are some Major League ball players that, getting to know these little leaguers and the experience they have at Williamsport. I like the fact that they have the Little League Classic where they'll play on the baseball regulation for Major League Baseball. So there's multiple fields in Williamsport because you have the Little League field and you'll have the Major League Baseball field. It's got 90 feet to first base. And I'm looking forward to just soaking it all in because this is just a great time. And I know these kids, they don't have a care in the world. They're not even worried about school. They're not worried about right now. They're just enjoying the moment, being in Williamsport and being showcased around and having tours and taking pictures and signing autographs and just really being part of a week-long media frenzy before the games start.
Once again, big shout out to Case Rasmus, the head coach of the Phenix City Little League All-Stars. He was on with us this morning at 6:05, and he gave us the inside track on all the schedules, all the appearances, all the things that are happening for the last couple of days that they've been in town. And again, they won't play again until Wednesday, but he says that that's probably the best opportunity, and it probably is an advantage for him to have his kids come in so much earlier than everybody else to get used to all of the festivities, get used to the facilities, and just get used to being in Williamsport.
Yeah, and get those practices in as well before it starts heating up. They're loving it. And I enjoy talking to Coach Rasmus. We've talked to him several times now as they are on this incredible journey. And this is something that we'll remember in this area. You talk about big sporting events in this area. We all remember that Northern Little League team that won it all in 2006. And we put these teams on that level and talking about the competitiveness, and we remember the players, and this is just great for the community, and we are rallying around Phenix City Little League, and hopefully they can pull it off and try to win it all.
Richard, we just have probably about another minute before we go to the break, but I want to say something here. Coming up in just a little bit, somebody that's near and dear to your heart, a guy who helped get you started as far as, being involved in high school football and broadcasting here in the Chattahoochee Valley. Of course, coming up in just a little bit, Dillon Griggs, Coach Dillon Griggs with the Russell County Warriors will be here, but he was a guy that you met several years ago, and again, I don't know if he's the reason why you are where you are, but again, he gave you your start.
I'll be honest with you, DJ. If he did not give me an opportunity to be the PA announcer for Russell County, I have no idea where I'd be in my broadcasting career. Because 2021, I was an unknown broadcaster. Yeah, I did a podcast, but I didn't do anything as far as experience goes. And not only being the PA announcer for 2021, I got to meet Chris Gates in Toygar, Iowa, who was calling the games on Beam. The following year, I was the play-by-play announcer for Russell County for Beam because I expressed that interest. We were just chopping it up at halftime, and I said, man, I would love to do play-by-play. And then the rest is history because I've been calling games since 2023 on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Boy, look at you now. You think, I tell you what, this guy, I guess he could have been your agent.
Oh, I know.
I tell you, we'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll talk to Coach Dillon Griggs with the Russell County Warriors. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Facebook Live as well as YouTube, and you're listening to WLTC HD2. Sportvisions 921. We are your hometown sports guys.
You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1.
We got out of Washington State, and I think a week after, state went on lockdown for COVID.
So then when we transitioned to Texas, it was very much so like, what are we going to do now?
Operation Homefront has allowed our family to make something of ourselves again in the world after the military.
It's completely changed the way our life is. It took us from a hopeless situation, and now we're homeowners. We have a savings account. I'm the first one to own a home out of my siblings.
Visit OperationHomefront.org to learn more.
The YMCA is just a starting line, for the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick below the surface. Y is the before work hustle, an after school home, a section of my block, a corner to call my own. With my Y, I stand strong, seen and supported all along. It's a million faces in a mirror, and everyone belongs. Find your Y. Join today at ymca.org for a better us.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Veterans, do you have a copy of your DD-214? A DD-214 is a DoD certificate of retirement, separation, or discharge from active duty. It verifies your eligibility for benefits and services. The fastest way to request a copy is through the National Archives and Records Administration at archives.gov. Get the benefits you've earned.
Catch the Ball 5 Bomb Show, 3 to 7 on Sports Visions 92.1. Now back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Here's 3-time Georgia Bulldog SEC champion and 1980 national champion DJ Jones and Trip Barringer.
Big shout out to the Phenix City All-Stars there in Williamsport to play against the Northwest on Wednesday. And again, big shout out to Coach Case Rasmus joining us this morning. Emmanuel Brunson, the coach of Calvary Christian, as well as Tanner Glisson from Troup County. Right now, the head ball coach for the Russell County Warriors, Dillon Griggs. Coach, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. Just living the dream, guys. How y'all doing?
Really good, really good. Coach, you're on your way into work, huh?
Yeah, yes, sir. Well, we had a late day yesterday. All of us came in yesterday and had a big game plan, and we get the kids at about 8:20 this morning, and we'll start installing for the new stuff for the week and doing walkthroughs this morning and watching some film for our intro.
Coach, before we get into the heavy lifting, let's talk a little bit about this guy that's sitting in the control chair here in the studio, Richard Holdridge, whom you found again, I don't know if, finder's fees or anything of that nature, the law statute of limitation is over, but, this guy's a big deal now. And because of you, I think you got it all started. Did he freeze up on us?
Yeah,
let's do this. Let's go ahead and let's hang up and call him in there because, again, I think that will be a better connection, calling him on a cell phone. Now, Coach, if you could hear me, you realize that we having a bad connection, but that happens. That happens. Of course, he's over in Russell County, and but yeah, I'm interested to hear that answer from him, Richard. Taking credit and giving you the first chance because everybody starts somewhere, and a lot of people have different stories. I know that Richard, your story is no different than mine, and no different than Thrift, and everybody had to have somebody to, of course, to lean on. Coach, I think we got you back, buddy. Are you there? I don't think so, Richard. Let's go ahead and go with the phone call, and we'll deal with that. But in the meantime, Coach, like I said, we are having a little stagnant problems out there with the internet out in rural Russell County. Coach is on his way into work, but we're eager to find out, how excited he is about he and his team getting ready to play and start this weekend, of course, on as far as the high school football season. And again, Coach Dillon Griggs is standing by. Richard, do we have opportunity? Do we have him right now?
Yes, we do.
Coach Griggs, good morning once again. How you doing, man?
Doing good, brother. Doing good.
Much better connection. I know that Mother Nature and the internet, obviously, they have their way with it, but they can't beat us. They can't defeat us, buddy.
That's right.
Yeah, but I was just, having some fun with you and saying, I know that the statute of limitations is not up on, obviously, the finder's fee for getting Richard Holdridge involved in the business because he's a big deal right now, Coach. Do you know that?
Listen, I always knew Richard was going to be big from the day that I met him. He's very passionate about this stuff. And, I think, passionate people love being around other passionate people. And, there's been no doubt since day one he was going to do whatever it took to achieve his dreams with this side of the business. And, it's just been a joy watching him progress.
I appreciate that, Coach.
Coach Griggs, I know Richard told me his story, but what sold you on Richard? How did you meet Richard? You needed a broadcaster and you needed a PA announcer. How did y'all meet?
Oh man, that was so long ago. If I'm sure and I'm not 100%, there's so much stuff that goes on every day. I have to start but I'm pretty sure I reached out to Richard through a friend and he came to the school and we talked and just got on the same page very, very quickly. And, it's just been a friendship ever since.
That's really, really close to what he said. I mean, you were spot on. So your memory is not as bad as you think it is, Coach.
You know how it is when you got these 100 kids every day, you got something new and exciting going on. So you trying to hold on to some of those memories.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Speaking of 100 kids or plus, you know what? Now it's game time, man. No more camp, no more, meetings. I mean, obviously it's time to get down to business and all of the stuff that you put in over the summer and all the training in the off season. You get to find out how it's going to stack up.
Yeah, no, that's what I said to the kids Friday morning before we went out in the field, last day of fall camp. And,
I feel like, it was a great fall camp. I ain't going to lie. It was probably one of the tougher ones we've had. There were some mornings I don't even play, and I woke up feeling like I just got hit by a bus. So, I think we're all glad to kind of be in a game week, but equally, there's just more of a normal schedule. And, I'm excited to see the boys this week. I always tell them, practice should be harder than the game. So, hopefully that statement's going to go into fruition this Friday as we start this journey.
Coach, you talk about the journey. This is not your first rodeo. You've been at this a while now. What's different? What makes you feel better about what, and I know the experience counts for a lot, but really, truly, sitting where you're sitting now versus several years ago, what's the most, what's the best thing about that?
I think more than anything, we're just at a point as a staff and as a team where the process is more understood. We're not very result oriented over here, but more process oriented, and, the kids just understand what we're looking for. They understand that they have to be dressed and sitting in their locker at this time in the morning. They, just the understanding from top to bottom. I think I said to my wife, and it hit me the other day, I don't think there is a kid 7th through 12th grade where I have not now been the head coach for the duration of their AHSAA, football playing days. And so, I think more than anything, some days I just walk in and it's just more of a, you see a football program and, I don't know what our story is this year. I think it's going to be a good one, but the one thing I do know is that the intensity and the understanding of what it is that we're trying to accomplish is there.
Coach, you've had an incredible 2-year run, making it to the second round of the playoffs, hosting home playoff games in back-to-back years. As you have a lot of momentum coming in this season, what's really the mindset of Russell County football as you prepare for the home opener against Booker T. Washington?
It's just to go out and be the best version of us every day. We're just 1 week, and it sounds so cliche, but we're so 1 week at a time and concentrated, and really we're looking at the day, every day, and how to be the best version of us. And so, but I'll say this group has been very intense, and I say this again, I said this to my wife the other day, I don't think I've seen a group improve in a short amount of time as much as I've seen this group. And, the summer is a long, long summer. The spring is a long summer. Pre-spring practices are very long. That's a month in itself. And so just to know that these kids attack the day every day with the purpose, and not that it's been perfect, but, they have attacked the day. I'm very excited about this season and just ready to watch the kids go out and do their own thing.
Coach, I had Tanner Glisson here with us prior to you being on the show, and he's losing, definitely an all-star quarterback, and you're losing a generational talent as well. But who's the next guy up at quarterback for you?
So Dominique Key will be the next guy, and you'll see some similarities in the offense, and then you'll see some differences in the offense with him. We're really excited about Nico. He has shown great leadership. He got thrown in the fire, and our thing is, and we told him from day one, we're not expecting you to be Bryson, and Bryson was great, but we're expecting Nico to be the best version of himself. And I think, that he has demonstrated that, one, he is confident, two, he understands the game, and then three, he is willing and able to do whatever it is that we need him to do as a leader and a player on this team. And I think the boys have really rallied around him, and it's not easy, and my first 2 coordinator jobs, I followed behind Danny Powell, who is a Hall of Famer, and then as a play caller, and then obviously as Patrick Nix at Pinson, I followed behind him. And so, I know what it's like to step into some big shoes, and, you just got to, put your cap on and go to work every day. And I think Nico has done that, and we're just excited to see him show his talent.
Well, Coach, one thing about Russell County that I've noticed the past 6 years is you guys don't have a problem developing running backs. Drew Pickett, Kelston Tarver, Devin Brown going off to play at the next level. You got a talented junior in Chris Lucas, who was just phenomenal last year as a sophomore. Just talk about why Russell County is able to develop running backs and so quickly, and they have such an impact in the game.
Well, I started off as a student assistant under the running backs coach at Troy, and so running backs have always kind of been my thing. And so obviously, until we got Bryson, we were always a run first kind of group of guys. And so, I think one is just a little bit of luck. I think two, Coach Thomas has been our running backs coach since I got here, and he does a dang good job. I mean, he is the best running backs coach that I've ever been around. I think he could go be a Division I running backs coach if he was ever afforded the opportunity. And, I think it's a mixture of talent. I think it's a mixture of coaching. And, and then I just think it's a mixture of, some good luck in there. And so, we're really excited about Chris. We feel like we have a couple other good running backs behind him. And so, but that is funny that you said that, Richard, because I did tell somebody the other day, I said, I think every running back we've ever had has signed a Division I scholarship at this school. It's just, and anytime that you got Chris Lucas in the backfield, you slip a little bit better at night.
Coach Dillon Griggs is our guest this morning on the Sports Visions Morning Show, and Coach Griggs is the head ball coach of the Russell County Warriors. And Coach, I know that you take great pride in your staff, but go ahead and introduce everybody from your OC, your DC, and all your position coaches.
So our OC is Coach Brazel. He took over play calling last year and has just done a phenomenal job. Our special teams coordinator, outside linebackers coach, is Coach Hunter Powell. And then Coach Adam Helms is our defensive line coach and our defensive coordinator. Now, funny thing is one, two of them are my best friends, and then another one, I grew up with. And so, there's all three, and he's a good friend of mine, don't get me wrong, but there's a deep understanding between me and the three coordinators. And then, you got your co-OC, quarterbacks coach, Coach Christian Cardwell, who was with me at Pinson. You've got Coach David Zakraszewski, who is our O-line coach. This is his second stint here, and he was at Spanish Fort back in the day when we coached at Pinson. So, we were familiar with him. And then you got Coach Amante Spivey at the inside receivers or the outside receiver spot. And, he was the running back when I was at Central all 3 years and helped lead us to a 7A state championship. And then you got Coach Patrick Holmes, Peyton Holmes, who is the inside receivers coach. And he played with Coach Brazel, the OC, in college, and they were roommates. And on the defensive side, you got Coach Dixon, who was our DC last year, coming back as the middle linebackers coach. He's going through some stuff, so he decided to take a step back from the play calling, but we're just still grateful to have him on staff. You've got Coach Travis Edwards, who also helps with the middle linebacker position. You got Coach Zach Berkland, who helps with corners. Coach Walter Pritchett, who coaches safeties. And then you can't forget Coach Sam Modes, who's kind of a jack of all trades. And, he's been at Russell County for about, 57 years, and he just always has a good insight of things we need to look at differently and things, that we don't need to do. So got a great staff, a lot of understanding, and we've all been together for quite a while now for the most part.
Coach, talk about the region you're in. Now 5A. It's really 6A. They took all the private schools out. But you got Benjamin Russell now in this region. Familiar faces like Wetumpka and Pike Road, Park Crossing. Talk about what this region is going to look like this upcoming season as you guys try to battle for a playoff spot.
Yeah, I think this is the toughest it's been in a couple of years. Wetumpka and Stanhope are very senior loaded. So is Benjamin Russell. And Park Crossing and Rehoboth, Park Crossing got a new head coach, and I think he's a future Hall of Famer. I talk to Coach all the time. He's great. Rehoboth, Ethan is a great dude, young head coach. I know he's excited, and the Wiregrass is a good area. There's you can get in the hallways. There's a lot of talent over there, and I'm trying to think. Who else is Percy Julian? They've got a new head coach, so we don't really know what to expect from them this year. But Percy Julian, the old Robert E. Lee. They've been winning ball games. They've been one of the most historic programs in the history of Alabama football, high school football. So it's a tough region. I think somebody said we got 3 teams in the top 10, preseason top 10, which don't mean a whole lot of nothing, but it does show what the mindset is becoming on the region. And I think I don't know if a lot of people realize it, but the last 3 out of 4 years we've had a team in the semifinals in this region. So, I mean, it's going to be a long year, and, but we're excited for the challenge.
Coach Dillon Griggs is our guest this morning on the Sportvisions morning show. And Coach, you touched on it a little bit when Bryson Riggins replacing him again, obviously after, for the record-setting the quarterback that you had. Now, it's not going to be as easy as just watching last year's tape of the offense and seeing how to stop the Russell County Warriors. Now, this new quarterback, obviously, we're not going to even try to put any kind of pressure on him to think that he could do the same things that Bryson did. However, again, that has to be an advantage going into this season, not having any fresh tape out of the quarterback that you're going to be using this year.
Absolutely. No, I mean, and like I said, I think good coaches, they develop their scheme and what they're doing around the players. We never want to be coaches who say, this is how we do it, and this is how it's always going to be done, and we're never going to change. Before we had Bryson, we were not a throw-heavy group of guys, and, we adapted to Bryson and enjoyed every second. But, I think Coach Brazel's done a good job of developing the offense around Nico's and the other guys' strengths. And like I said, I think you're going to see some similarities, but you're going to see some differences. And so it still just goes back to, and then you still got to account for how much better we continue to get during the season and how will we continue to grow and what changes will that allow us to continue to make as the season progresses. So, definitely, I'm going to miss Bryson and Bryson is irreplaceable, but at the same time, I'm really excited about Nico, and I hope in 2 years when he's graduating, I hope we're sitting there saying the same thing about him. I hope each new one that steps in is irreplaceable when they leave, because if that is the case, that means we've been successful.
Coach, I want to talk about that game day atmosphere. You got small town feel in Seal, Alabama, but not too far away from the city limits of Phenix City and Columbus. Just talk about what it means, Friday night lights, just to have the whole community pack Corbett Stadium and just give that small town feel. But you also have just big time football coming to Seal, Alabama. And I've witnessed this for the past 6 years.
Yeah, no, our community's always done a really good job of rallying around, like we did 2 fundraisers this year in the community and they helped the boys raise about $40,000. The businesses are very, Sheriff Heath Taylor, I couldn't even begin to describe, how much he's just been for us. It's been there for us as a program. Now Waldrop over at TV Beam, the county commission, from the day that I stepped in here, they told me they were here to help. All we had to do was ask. And, I don't say that I ain't been denied if I need it, if I asked for something, but if I needed it, I don't think we've ever been denied. And, and then as far as like, even when we were going 2-8 and 3-7, this community would stay at the ball games to the very end. I get text messages at the end of the game, keep your head up, keep pushing. And, and they have stood behind us. The parents are fantastic. You got to think during the summer, some of these kids live 35, 40 minutes away in Pittsview and Hatchachubby, and these kids are still here at 8:15 in the morning, and their parents pick them up at 12:30, in the middle of the day. And, there's no complaints, there's no nothing. And if a guy needs a ride, quite often we're at a point now where parents are handling rides for us, and we don't even know about it. So, the support is there. The kids know the support is there. The belief is there. We just got to go on it. We just got to go out and continue to work hard and show that, we're gonna back that support and that's given all that we got on a Friday night.
Coach Griggs, you made mention of it. Obviously, your program is blessed by the community leaders. Obviously, you mentioned the sheriff, Sheriff Taylor, and of course, you have an extraordinary superintendent, principal, and athletic director. And I want to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about each one of them, because again, it's a blessing to have all hands on deck and everybody, paddling in the same direction.
Yeah, no, all of this started, with Dr. Coley and she had a vision and she when I was doing my little final round for this job, she asked me what my expectations were, and I had a list of things. And, I'm not saying it happened all on day one, but if she said she's going to do it, she's going to do it. And, that's undefeated on that aspect. But the other part is she's just a godly woman. And, she doesn't just talk to you about work. She talks to you about your faith. She talks to you about your family. She checks on you. She cares about you. I think Dr. Coley has made me a better person since I've met her. And, she is somebody in my eyes who is just a great one. And I think we're just so lucky to have her as a leader. And then Mr. Chris Daniel, he's a man of action and he gets things done. And, he is so supportive, and he's a former football player, so he gets it. He likes to talk scheme. He likes to talk ball. Every Monday we sit down and we meet and we talk about practice. We talk about the game. We talk about the good things, the bad things. He is very active with our kids. He comes out to practice. He comes in and talks to the team, sometimes at the end of the day. Just a great leader in the school. And, he talks about that RC all the time. And that's what we're trying to instill here. It's not about, your name on the back. It's, what's going on the front. And so, he's just been an addition. And then Coach Knox is, I lost my dad a long time ago, and, he's been very much of like a father figure to me at a lot of times, and, helped me in more than just football, more in life and in football. And, one thing I know is every day Coach Knox has got my best interest at heart and the team's best interest at heart. And, whether he agrees or disagrees, if it's what's best, because, that's one thing I love about Coach Knox. He's open-minded. Like, he hadn't made up his mind and that's the way it's going to be. He's going to listen and he's really going to consider it. And there are times where he goes out and gets stuff done that we need. And he gets stuff done sometimes before I even know it's a problem. And so I think when you're talking about the three leaders of this, this high school and this district, we're just unbelievably blessed to have all three of them. And, I tell you, as long as, I will always, I don't think I could find three better bosses.
Coach, the Warriors Multiplex, absolutely gorgeous facility, weight room, and coaches' offices. Talk about how much of a game changer that is.
Oh, it's been a big game changer, and I think we did a good job of making the best of our facilities that we had at the time when we got here. But the one thing, every day when you're walking in here, you have a D1 feel to the environment. And, I think it makes the boys that much more prideful. I don't think people realize the last 5 years, we've had 3 different locker rooms. And so it's nice to finally have all the boys under one roof. And that's really helped the brotherhood aspect of it. And then, we were just, not that we were displaced, but we were kind of just all over the place. And so, just having the building and being closer to things has taken off about 25, 30 minutes of our day. And so, when you're talking about, saving 2.5 hours on the kids a week, I think that really helps with recovery and just allowing them time to go be a kid. And so, I don't know that there's not an aspect that it hasn't improved. Like I said, it still goes back to how you play, look good, feel good, play good, and I've been in some college facilities that aren't as nice as this.
Coach Griggs, I'd be remiss if I let you get out of here without Coach. We got some new timers, or first timers rather, on the Sportvisions morning show. Let us know where you went to school, where you played ball, where you grew up, and all that good stuff. Because again, obviously, this is a program that we want folks to get behind, but they obviously need to know who the head coach is.
Yep. So I'm from Enterprise, Alabama. I graduated from Enterprise High School. Was a Wildcat. I was actually in the tornado in 2007 that hit that high school. That was my senior year. If I wasn't in Enterprise growing up, I was in Troy. I'm kind of really from both. My whole family's from Troy. We moved to Enterprise, for ball purposes. And, I'm a Wiregrass kid at heart. Always loved my time there. When I tell you I'm a Troy Trojan, I am a Troy Trojan. I was a student assistant at Troy University under Coach Blakeney, and I'm diehard, and, I don't know that I've missed a game since 2010 that they played in, whether it's watching it on TV, listening on the radio, or being there in person. And, I think that a lot of who I am was instilled between Enterprise and Troy and my parents. And, I'm forever grateful to be a Wildcat, but, one thing I do know is that RC sure does mean a lot to me. I've been a Russell County Warrior. I was kind of displaced when I was growing up, but at times. But I think I had a good group of people around me when I was younger. And Rick Rayner was my principal, and he still talks to me and checks on me from time to time. And I have a big village that helped get me to where I am today, and happy to be a part of another big village here at Russell County.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the head ball coach for the Russell County Warriors, Dillon Griggs. Coach, thank you so much, buddy, and have a great rest of your morning.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Go Warriors.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.
That's a great guy, man. He's absolutely, he's for his kids. And again, it's nothing like having a leader that that, when you're young and you're a student athlete, this guy will fight. He'll fight your butt. I mean, he'll get behind you and I'll fight. I mean, he's gonna protect his kids, and I've seen them, and he's an easy talking, very, very, but I tell you what, don't get under his skin.
Yeah, his players are going to play hard for him. They're going to run through a brick wall, and I'm so impressed of the coaching staff he was able to build, especially in the early years that he was there. To have coaches like go off and coach at Valdosta. We had a wide receivers coach that was the head coach now at Prattville, but the head coach at Smith Station. I mean, so it's great that he was able to not only build his staff. He's got an amazing staff, but he's had former members of his staff go on and become head coaches elsewhere.
Big shout out to, of course, Larry Knox, the athletic director out there. A lot of people will remember Larry Knox as a long-time assistant, or at least the coach of the
Central Red Devils.
middle school.
Middle school, yes.
He had a record that was phenomenal. Like, he hadn't been beaten in umpteen years, but you know what? He's a great father figure for Coach Knox, and for Coach Griggs, and I can see why. All right, Richard, you know what? We're approaching. We got a minute here. We could kind of kick it back and forth, but again, for the folks that are listening out there, a huge lineup for high school football on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. What is that schedule to the best of your recollection?
Well, we do have some softball and volleyball games this week. Our first high school football game this week will be Thursday night at Otis Spitzer Stadium. Hardaway taking on Randolph Clay. And then on Friday, we have got 5 football games we are doing, including the game of the week, Northside Smith Station, Brookstone Spencer, Russell County, and Booker T. Washington. We're also doing Pacelli Stratford, and the debut of Chattahoochee County on Georgia Alabama Sports Live as they're taking on Terrell County.
I tell you what, I'm going to be glued in. How can you, you got all of those, you got a couple of different stations. Now tell us how you guys actually get all of those games on the air at the same time.
So just go to our YouTube channel, Georgia Alabama Sports Live YouTube channel. Now, as our Facebook page, we can only broadcast one game on the page. So that's why we got multiple Facebook pages. We got our main page. We've got Gas Live 1 and the Gas Live 2. And so we also have basically YouTube is where we actually implemented a scoreboard. We have a little ticker down at the bottom with the scores from around the area. We'll have a halftime show where we will actually display those scores on the screen. And, of course, we'll have a post-game scoreboard show after all the action is over that night.
Good deal. All right, let's go ahead and take a break and let you know that you're watching Facebook Live as well as YouTube, and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sports Visions 921. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for waking up with the Sports Visions Morning Show with DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer. Catch me at 9 a.m. every weekday morning, right here on Sports Visions 92.1.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Then here's a great idea. Donate your car and help veterans and their families. Yes, one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program and we'll come and remove your car for free. Fast, free towing, and 24-hour response. You can donate most cars, trucks, or SUVs in most conditions. The proceeds raised goes to help active military, veterans, and their families, and you get a tax deduction. All you need to do is make this free call. Get rid of that old car and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now and book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Donation Program now. Donate your car and help veterans and their families. Operators are standing by. Here's the number.
800-890-7021. 800-890-7021. 800-890-7021. That's 800-890-7021.
If anyone listening to me is riding in a vehicle that they don't want, I can help you out of that vehicle. I have financing for everybody. No matter what you owe on your vehicle, bring it to me. I'm going to get you out of it. And remember, at Bratton Automotive, I stock them deep and sell them cheap.
At Cartoons Car Stereo in Columbus, buy it today, get it installed today. That's right, same-day installation. Cartoons, Rockford Fosgate products, stereo head units, amps, speakers, speaker boxes, alarms, remote starts, navigation units, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and so much more. Get same-day installation today. Call or stop by today for details. Cartoons on Veterans Parkway in Columbus.
Vote for me. I'm Frank Lumpkin, your #1 fan for the University of Georgia at the kickoff for a cause benefiting the Ann Elizabeth Shepherd Home. Growing up is hard enough. No child should ever have to suffer sexual assault or abuse. The Shepherd Home provides healing, hope, and support for girls who need it most. Kickoff for a Cause will be held on August 27th at 6 p.m. at the Cunningham Center. For tickets or more information, go to twincedars.org/events. Again, that's twincedars.org/events. Every dollar is a vote, and every vote helps a girl heal. Go Dogs! Stick 'em! Hoo, 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 hoo.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Each week, VA sends an email to over 13 million veterans across the country. It's jam-packed with resources like free concert tickets, farming assistance, workout programs, national park passes, and veteran discounts on hundreds of services, plus access to local events for veterans and their families, and even barbecue sandwiches, all at no cost. One can also find job listings, career mentoring opportunities from Fortune 500 CEOs, small business help, and information on home loans. Are you in the know? Subscribe for free at va.gov/vet resources to learn more about the federal, state, nonprofit, and private sector resources available to veterans and their families. That's va.gov/vet resources.
WLTC HD2 Casita and W221DP Columbus. You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1. If it's local, it's on the Sports Visions Morning Show with former Georgia Bulldog DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones and Richard Holdridge in the building. It's a memorable Monday. And I got to let you know that the Denver Broncos defeated the Atlanta Falcons 27-7 in their preseason opener on Friday at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Denver outgained Atlanta 359 yards, total yards, to 192, and they controlled the ball for over 36 minutes, Richard, and capitalized on 2 first-half interceptions, including a 97-yard pick six by Jada Barron, and of course, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. But you know what? I know that the Falcons. Everything since that time, and even prior going into the preseason game, everybody was bad-mouthing the Atlanta Falcons, not only because of the quarterback situation, but obviously James Pierce will miss 8 games, and I know Jalen Walker is out for the season with the bad ACL. And just Michael Phenix has not been cleared. Just so many things going on with the Atlanta Falcons right now here in the early goings, man. It's just hard to feel good about the season.
Yeah, you really can't feel good about a preseason game. Even though it's just preseason, I had to go rewatch it. It was bad. They did not look good at all. And you want to see growth and development, especially from like your bench players, your role players need to step up. There's nothing positive you could take out of this preseason game. They got mollywocked by the Denver Broncos. I mean, to add insult to injury, Cooper Rush, 2 interceptions, including that pick six. Jack Strand, I know we were high on him. He went 6 for 12, 50 yards. There was really nobody really stood out that was like, oh yeah, he's gonna make the 53-man roster and he's gonna have an impact. There was really no positive takeaway from this, and to add insult to injury, the meme that everybody's talking about. And look, I know we're making a big deal about it because we're in the media, and this is what I do. I like getting clickbait. I like talking about stuff that people are talking about.
I thought you said you didn't like that. I thought you wasn't a clickbait guy.
No, when they're not talking about me. But man, oh man, that meme heard around the world. Michael Penix Jr. pointing at Tua and say what you want about it. You could actually say, oh, what was he possibly saying? Who knows? But it's funny, and that's what we're talking about.
Well, without further ado, we got somebody that's a little bit closer to the fire than we are. And again, let's go ahead and bring him up. He's Nubyjus Wilborn with Bowtie Sports. Good morning. How you doing, man?
Hey, man. Great day to be alive, gentlemen. How y'all doing?
Absolutely. I'm sure it did not deter you one way or the other with the Atlanta Falcons having such a dismal showing on Friday.
I mean, the thing about the Atlanta Falcons is, man, that they have a wonderful solution at quarterback, apparently, that we have not seen yet, or at least seen manifest. So, according to them, they're ready at quarterback, and all this stuff is just hyperbole. We're just being mean to the old Falcons. We're not being fair to them. We're not being nice. That's what they think.
I tell you what, Ian Cunningham being that he has grown up in the metro area and he's coming back home and all of that stuff, that's going to last all of about a few more weeks if they don't shape it up, man. They're going to start booing the homeboy.
Hey, man, it's how it goes, man. I mean, the unfortunate part is, man, the Falcons do have talent. I mean, when you have a running back the caliber of Bijan Robinson, when you have some of the receivers they have, you actually have a pretty good offensive line and all these things, but it just doesn't seem that this team is ready to put it together. You go back to before Phenix, you had Kirk Cousins, who was an oft-injured guy. You replaced Kirk Cousins with Michael Phenix, who was an oft-injured guy. And then, as an insurance policy to Michael Phenix, you signed Tua Tagovailoa. Okay.
Well, Nubyjus, let's just call a spade a spade. Tua did not play very well. Unexcusable, in my opinion, unexcusable to fumble the snap in the shotgun when it's right to him. And then to add insult to injury, I don't know what Michael Penix Jr. was saying to Tua, but pointing to him and having a meme where we could just continue making fun of the Falcons even more. What's your takeaway on all this mess and drama, even though it's only preseason?
The main thing, I really got nothing on that. That's just easy fodder. It's funny. It is what it is. I mean, it is indicative of the Atlanta Falcons' history and current circumstance. I mean, I think it's fair to critique that. I think it's fair to make fun of it. But the memes are just going to be there. I mean, hey, man, it's just a bad situation. I don't know what Tua has left. I mean, there's a reason why the Dolphins were willing to move on from him. There's a reason why he was on the market in the way that he was. I mean, for instance, Kyler Murray is a starter now. You know what I'm saying? After leaving Arizona. Tua has not demonstrated that he deserves to be on that caliber. And again, I just don't know what he has left, man. And it's a sad situation because I do think the Falcons overall could be a good team if they actually had some decent quarterback play. But it doesn't seem like that's going to happen, at least not maybe until Phenix gets back. But even then, I mean, what has he shown that you can count on him?
Award-winning sports writer Nubyjus Wilborn is our guest this morning on the Sportsvisions morning show. And Nubyjus, you know what? You can talk about our quarterbacks till the cows come home, but the bottom line is, where are we going to get that pass rush production that we're losing with, of course, Walker and Pierce?
I don't know, man. That's a good question. They got some dudes on the roster who might could do something, but they have not shown it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so I don't know. I mean, it still feels weird to me to discuss James Pierce Jr. as a football player, considering some of the things that he has been accused of and the reason why he is going through an 8-game suspension. To be quite honest, there's a school of thought that he is fortunate to be able to play football at all. That's a whole other conversation we could get into about the ethics of the league and whether he should be allowed to play at all. But apparently, I guess the Falcons have decided he is good enough to go through this with. And with the loss of Walker, the football player James Pierce you need. Now, is it going to be worth it in the long run to play James Pierce Jr.? I don't know, man. I mean, 8 games is a lot of games. I mean, I guess it's not quite half the season now with the game schedule being 17 games as opposed to 6 games, but it's a lot of the season, man. I just don't know what it's going to look like. I am trying to be, a little bit more optimistic about the Falcons. I am attempting to, but it is very difficult to find optimism right now.
I'll be honest with you, Nubyjus. I don't know if the Falcons have any cap space because they need defensive players, and the Cowboys just ended up getting Von Miller. But the Falcons couldn't try to go after Von Miller, who's still got something left in the tank. He's won 2 Super Bowls, and he's an impact player.
Why would Von Miller want to come to the Falcons?
Yeah, that's true.
No, I mean, and I'm not trying to
No, you're right.
You're right. for a guy at his point, if he's going to play at a team, like I said, with his championship pedigree, with all the things, fascinating career, by the way, by Von Miller. I don't think he's the Hall of Famer, but there are people who do, so, whatever. But, hey, man, that's a whole other conversation. We'll get there to another day. But if you're someone like him who's won at high levels, if you're going to go somewhere, ain't you going to go somewhere where you can try to win, where you actually might have a chance to be good? There is no indication that the Falcons show that they demonstrated they will be a playoff team. And the thing is, this is probably one of the most winnable divisions in the National Football League, other than the AFC South. And, if you look at New Orleans do they really have an answer at quarterback? Do the Carolina Panthers, is Bryce Young really that guy? He showed some signs last season, finally, but this is going into year 4 of him, and we still don't know who he is or what he is. Down in Tampa, you got Baker Mayfield, got a bunch of issues. He's upset about his contract. Vita Vea, their amazing defensive tackle, he's upset about things. Essentially, your 2 most important players are upset about their contract. And yet, in that division where I named all those problems, the Atlanta Falcons might finish last.
Nubyjus, Wilborn, I tell you what, man, if anybody knows the Atlanta people, the Atlanta culture, the spirit of the city, it's you. And, again, one thing that I do know, and, I spent about 12 years in my early adult life living in the city, and obviously the Falcons fans are loyal to a fault. But how much longer will it take before, the tailgating stops and the tickets, the people stop showing up at the arena? I mean, it's hard, but I mean, here we are already, and we're not even finished with preseason yet, and people, the spirit is already, nil at most.
I mean, it's tough, man. I mean, but also, look, I lived in Cleveland for a few years. I'm from Atlanta, but I lived in Cleveland for years, and those people still go to those games. Now, I do think the spirit changes where it's like, hey, we already have our season tickets. We're still going to tailgate. It's nice outside. We're going to have fun and enjoy that. And I hope that's maybe the attitude that more Falcons fans take, just to enjoy the fact that you have an NFL team in town. I mean, your taxpayer dollars are paying for it, so you may as well go out and enjoy it if you can afford to go to the ball game. I mean, but yeah, no, I mean, it's going to get like that. It could go really bad this season. And I mean, what has it been? 8 years since the team has made the playoffs? Not even won a playoff game. Made the playoffs. You know what I mean? I mean, there's so much to critique about this team. And it really feels like you're kind of beating up on them after a while until you realize you're not making anything up. You're not exaggerating. You're saying what the truth is about what's going on with the organization. But I still think Falcons fans will show up. I mean, they've been doing it all this time. I mean, it is almost like the equivalent of, you ever get the woman that has a deadbeat man, he ain't about nothing, he ain't gonna be nothing. And then you look up one day and that deadbeat man is 60-something years old, still doing the same stuff. She's still hoping he's gonna change. Well, I mean, it's pretty much the Atlanta Falcons, right? You just keep hoping and hoping one day he'll get it together. He'll figure it out. He'll stop doing it. And they just, as of now, keep doing it. And it is disappointing. It is tough to watch. It is hard to get behind also when you see other organizations put it together for a bit. And I don't know, man. I mean, I think it's very unfair to ask the Falcons fans to keep coming back and keep having hope and keep having optimism when the ticket prices continue to go up and the team does not show the love back to the fan base.
I absolutely 100% agree with you, Nubyjus, especially when you have these stars in the prime of their career. I don't know, man. I kind of feel like this could be a disaster of a season. Not quite 2007, but I'm kind of comparing it to possibly it could be, which means there's a silver lining. If they have a terrible season, guess who's in the 2027 draft class? You've got quarterbacks like Arch Manning, Dante Moore, Darian Menza. Do you think that this could be such a disaster of a season where they end up drafting their franchise quarterback in 2027?
Well, if they do, buddy, oh Lord, that's gonna the path there is gonna be a rough one, man. I mean, and let's be real, the Falcons historically have not had a lot of luck at quarterback. Matt Ryan had sanitized a lot of that stuff, going from the horrors of Michael Vick. Because I mean, you're talking about 2007. that would have been the year when Michael Vick unfortunately went, to jail for. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? That's around the time he went to jail. That was the Bobby Petrino year, which people want to forget about, and all that mess that came with that, with him leaving the letter in the locker, and when he left to go to when he left the NFL job to go back to college. Okay, just throwing it out there, right? All these things happen. All that stuff transpires, and then you luck up and you get Matt Ryan. And they looked into Matt Ryan. They got him. He was the best quarterback there. And to be quite honest, Matt Ryan, I believe, is the most impactful player to ever wear an Atlanta Falcons jersey.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to say he was the best, because I think Julio Jones is the best Atlanta Falcon. But when it comes down to impacting, winning, all the things, Matt Ryan is the most impactful. Whether he's a Hall of Famer or not, hold on the conversation. My point is, outside of that and outside of the small window of Mike Vick you had, what quarterback success has the Atlanta Falcons had historically?
None.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, Matt Ryan covered a lot of it, and you had the Mike Vick, but that wasn't long enough,
Wait a minute now, Steve Bartkowski. He was around way before your time. Now
I know who he was, but he was. I mean, he was okay. All right, we'll give old Bart some credit. I like Steve.
What about Chris Chandler? Got him to the Super Bowl.
Chandelier. All right, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, if you want to go there, I mean, but that's what Don Majikowski. I mean, come on, man. What are we talking about here, man? I mean, and look, man, it's nobody's fault. I mean, the only team that's probably had worse quarterback history are the Chicago Bears. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
The Falcons have just historically not had it for whatever reason. I know it's hard to find quarterbacks, but could they draft the right one? Sure. Does history tell me they will?
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go to some pick me up. I mean, you're an award-winning journalist, and obviously our guy D-Led has been celebrated and honored once again, and that's another piece of hardware that's going to go on the trophy case. But talk about this newest award and what it means to D-Led.
Well, I mean, I guess at least he got a thumbs up from NABJ, right? But anyway.
Yes.
Apparently, not everybody gets a thumb up from the old organization. But no, man. Every year, the Sports Task Force goes out to in each city that it has the convention in. This is the National Association of Black Journalists. Every year it has a yearly convention. This year was in Atlanta. And dear Orlando Ledbetter was one of several people who were honored as local legends to go into the Sports Task Force Hall of Fame. The Sports Task Force is a huge part of NABJ as far as advocating for black journalists around there. And D-Led is a Hall of Famer yet again. I mean, he's already done so much, and he continues to still do it at Bowtie Sports. Fortunate to get to learn from him, fortunate to get to sit at his feet and continue to just do good work. But, yeah, he's very honored by that. Getting to have an opportunity to go in. Also, he went in the group with Ron Thomas, who was a former sports writer who is there at Morehouse now with the legendary Spike Lee. And Spike Lee actually was able to attend. He was in attendance for that, which, is huge. He has done a lot for that journalism school at Morehouse, of course, not forgetting that he took his journalism classes at Clark Atlanta. But,
okay.
Just had to throw it out there because people forget that part that, he took actual journalism classes at Clark Atlanta because back in the day, Morehouse did not have a journalism school. But since then, they have built a sports journalism department that has really done some good stuff and put some good people out here in the world doing sports journalism. And D-Led also is taught there. He's done a lot for the industry. So to see him get an award from the organization, from the task force that weekend, really big deal. Really glad that we're trying to do better as an org as to giving people their flowers while they're still with us. I think that's important to give people they love and make sure that the greats are honored. And, again, it's better than a thumbs down.
I want to go back to the Falcons, believe it or not, but because again, I haven't given up on them yet. But I just want you to talk about
in life or this season.
This season, this season. Yeah, when from a journalistic standpoint, and now you made mention of you being in Cleveland and being around that organization as well. But as a journalist, as a beat writer, as a person that covers the Falcons. Pretty much exclusively, how do you stay motivated and how will you stay motivated this year when you consider a great amount of what you guys do is with the Atlanta Falcons or about the Atlanta Falcons.
Thankfully, I don't get paid by Falcons wins and losses, or I'd be homeless. So, that would be a good start, right? But one of the hard parts about this is typically, historically, people either read about really good teams or really bad teams, and it's really not a lot in between. Now, I will say, writing up if a team is bad, for instance, I covered the Pittsburgh Pirates a couple seasons, and they were really rough. You always kind of knew when they get out to a decent start, be close to 500 around All-Star break, and by August, around about this time of the year, they start tanking, and then before you know, by September, it's rough. And it is hard to cover players who aren't winning. They're not in the best mood. They don't want to talk about why they've lost those games. And players are way harsher critics on themselves than I, or especially people out here in these streets just tweeting, can ever be. They know what's going on. They watch the practice footage. They're the ones playing the games. So I always try to have empathy for the people who are putting themselves on the line. The players, the coaches, the staffs. I always try to write about them with kindness and compassion because, again, they're still human beings at the end of the day. Yes, they're on a bad football team, and yes, some of them are unfortunately cursed and afflicted by becoming Atlanta Falcons, but also that's not their fault. And so you do try to find good stories. There's always stories to tell. There's always on a 53-man roster someone who has a unique journey. Is it harder to cover a bad team? Yes. Is there worthwhile work in it? Yes. Also, sometimes it can be hard when people aren't reading because they don't want to read about the bad team. So is it tough? Yeah, but I mean, what would you rather be doing? Digging ditches? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you're still writing about NFL. You're still covering your team. You're still around it. You're still in it. You're still sourced. And ultimately, for me as a beat writer, it ain't about me. It's about the people. And I always say these teams, these organizations, especially on the pro level, these are multi-billion-dollar entities, okay? Billion with a B, capital B. You know what I'm saying? Headed more towards trillions at this point, if we're to be honest, right? They get taxpayer dollars. They're subsidized by these cities and governments. They're a public trust, and they should be covered as such. They should be accountable to the people. They should be accountable to the market. And my job as a beat writer is to hold them accountable, but be fair. You don't have to beat them up or anything. Just write the truth. It is hard, but there's so much harder to do. The main thing is be honest, be real. If you are gonna write something harsh about a player, you should definitely talk to that player, talk to the people around them, be honest about what you're trying to do, and just let the chips fall where they may.
Nubyjus, we did receive word. It is official. James Pierce Jr. received an 8-game suspension. Back in February, I know we were all holding our breath because with a deadly weapon, aggravated stalking, fleeing the scene from a police officer. I thought he was done. I didn't think he was going to play another down for the Atlanta Falcons. But if he goes to counseling, if he does what he's supposed to do, they'll drop the charges, which is great news for Falcons fans because our double-digit sack guy will be back in a Falcons uniform after 8 games. Talk about how it's important that we're able to still have him on the team. And I know because of the league policy, he has to serve this 8-game suspension. While the Seahawks end up getting Kerry and Arnold, and who knows if he's going to play in the league again after his charges.
I mean, look, this is one of the tough things about where we are right now. Because in one way, there's an argument that says that allowing him to play shows a lack of care for women, particularly for women who have been abused and been harmed, right? And there are going to be people who are going to see him as an abuser, see him as someone who's doing harm, and regardless of what the legal record says, regardless of whatever, they're going to see him a certain way, and that's going to be part of this. You know what I'm saying? And the Falcons fan base, it does have a lot of women in it. The Falcons historically have been one of the teams that have had some of the most season ticket holders, women's season ticket holders, particularly black women's season ticket holders, than any other franchise by far, as far as going to the games, participating in the games, and having him on the team is going to alienate a part of their audience. And I do think that's important to put out there in important context. Now, the player himself, if he could get back to the level of play where he was last year, then it'd be great. But now I know it's a different situation, different accusations, but how's that worked out for the Browns with Deshaun Watson? Has that been worth what you took on and worth what you're saying to your fan base by bringing him in there, and the production hasn't been there? To me, this is going to put a lot of pressure on James Pierce for his production to live up to the fact that the Falcons are doing this. And historically, this goes a little bit against how Arthur Blank has been as an owner. Typically, he historically is not liked, quote, bad boys or troublemakers. He has definitely got people out of there for less historically. You know what I'm saying? Since he took over for Rankin Smith. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I mean, maybe there's something he sees in Pierce. Maybe it's something that they see. I know he's a talent player. I know he had a good season. I just hope for the Falcons that the juice is worth the squeeze on this, even though I have questions about whether it's worth the squeeze, because you're alienating your fans so much for this season to have this guy for 9 games. Is it going to be worth it by the time he gets back?
Nubyjus, just a couple of things here for you before we let you go. As far as James Pierce is concerned, is it my understanding that he cannot come to the facilities? He can't be around the players, the team during this suspension, or what's the call for?
Well, and that's the thing that I'm trying to get more clarity on, because sometimes it's different. Typically, if you're suspended, you can't be in the facility during the week, from what I understand historically, but there could be different things with his. We will see how that goes. Also, that's another CBA issue. If he can't, then I'm pretty sure they will find ways to keep him integrated. But that's also why this time here is very important during the preseason for him to get reps. Again, it just still feels weird for me to talk about him as a player, but here we are. He is an active player. He will play in games, barring injury. And so they're going to try everything they can to keep him engaged and keep him locked in. And that's why the preseason is really more important for him than probably anyone else on that roster.
And lastly, as much as you can tell us, what's the plan with, of course, Bowtie Sports, as you guys will continue to cover the Falcons, not only in training camp, but into the season? What will your responsibilities be? What would your D-led be? Both would be kind of sounding off on each other. You also have a podcast that we want to make mention of.
Oh, man, appreciate that. No, the podcast we're very excited about. It's going to be weekly with me, D-led, and our man, Sideline Mike, talking Falcons, just weekly. I will be doing a weekly NFL power rankings, getting ready. I've already done a couple of them, just get people ready for the season. And then, of course, during the year, it'll be a weekly power rankings. And then, I think my focus may end up being a little bit more national as we go along, as we get it together. And, a lot of it right now is building the subscriber base. D-Led has done an excellent job of, covering the team, bringing the information. And again, as we continue to build our resources up, we'll be there. As of now, we're going to be at every Falcons game, home and road. Really looking forward to covering the team in person. D-Led's been on the ground at practice. I will be at some as well. Just continue to get in there and, just building the brand day by day, man. It is a different journey. When you take off those letters from these organizations and you try to put it out there on your own, lucky to have somebody who has a great following, and really just looking forward to learn and continue to grow.
One last fan-related question. As a beat writer and as a guy who actually will cover the team and gets to know the team and the players, they're human too. How do you separate or focus on your job versus whatever personal relationship you have with these guys? Because again, you see each other, you're in the same spaces, you share a lot of the same experiences with regards to the Falcons. It's road trips, the games, the locker room. Handle that.
Well, I mean, a lot of it's just having integrity, having ethics, knowing what the main thing is. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you're going to build relationships, you're going to build friendships, but ultimately, I tell people all the time, if my criticism, okay, because how some players will hit you with, you didn't play. And I always say, well, you don't say that after I say something you don't like. Now, you know what I'm saying? Now, when I'm kissing your butt and blowing smoke up your skirt, you love what I say. But the one time I critique you, now it's, your ass didn't play. Oh, okay. All right. And so But it's the back and forth of knowing that ultimately, no, I did not play NFL football, but I'm writing about it here. You know what I'm saying? So if you like it when I compliment you, then you can't get mad if I critique you. And ultimately, the main thing, like I said, have integrity, look the player in the eye, be real when you have to write something hard, and be accountable to that person. Because, a lot of it is sometimes you will have uncomfortable conversations, but ultimately, they'll respect you because they know you're coming to tell the truth. And times in which I've had players be upset, I was okay. Are you mad at what I said because it was inaccurate? If it was inaccurate, then let's fix the inaccuracy. Or are you mad because it's the truth and you don't like it, it don't feel good?
Hey, man. Thank you so much. I tell you, we enjoy talking to you, and we will continue to look forward to talking to you as this season unfolds. And hopefully, and I say hopefully with a capital H, we'll have some more successes to talk about than failures.
Hey, man, either way, we're going to be here locked in and loaded, baby.
All right, man. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, my guy.
Thanks, Nubyjus.
That's Nubyjus and Wilborn, and he gave it to us straight, no chaser. But, again, you can imagine going in the locker rooms and being there on a weekly basis and you getting to know and have all of these, all these players that, and these guys are human. Like I said, these guys, you might say something that, might rub them a little raw. And, of course, if he doesn't stay professional, you are protected. I know there's not, but nobody's going to want to beat your ass, Richard, because you said something about him. But, still, you want to be, you want to walk into an environment, a working environment where, you don't have to be intense and all, anxiety up all the time.
Yeah, that's why we love Nubyjus Wilborn. He tells it like it is.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's go ahead and take a break. You're watching Facebook Live as well as YouTube, and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sports Visions 921. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for making us your home for local, regional, national sports talk in the Chattahoochee Valley. This is Sports Visions 92.1.
Good morning. I'm Michelle Jennings, and here are your morning headlines. The Columbus Police Department's Violent Crime Unit is investigating a shooting that left 2 people injured. The shooting happened Sunday morning in the 5700 block of Cameo Street. There are no further details at this time. In other news, 2 murder suspects of a June shooting were found in the Muskogee County Jail facing carjacking charges. 26-year-old Waquay Harris and 19-year-old Tristan Cook are now charged with murder and armed robbery in the shooting death of 21-year-old Javian Bell. Harris and Cook are scheduled to appear in Recorder's Court Tuesday, August 18th. From WRBL News 3, I'm Michelle Jennings.
Good Monday morning. We are starting the day warm and muggy with temperatures already in the upper 70s. The big story is the dangerous heat with an extreme heat warning in Alabama and a heat advisory across Georgia. Expect plenty of sun today with highs in the upper 90s and heat index values pushing 110 to 113 degrees in some spots. Not much changes through the midweek, but there is finally some relief in sight with cooler temperatures and a better chance for showers and storms arriving this weekend.
To get the full story, visit sportsvisions921.com and click on the WRBL tab. Sports Visions 92.1.
Summer is coming to an end and football season is about to kick off. There are plenty of things to celebrate this time of year, but when this celebration includes alcohol, do not make the wrong decision to drink and drive. Georgia has a zero tolerance for drunk driving, meaning all drivers caught over the limit will be arrested. No exceptions, no warnings. That's why the Governor's Office of Highway Safety reminds you to avoid the risk of a DUI arrest by planning ahead for a ride with a sober driver. Sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Corey's Furniture Express, your express way to saving.
Did you know that Corey's Furniture Express sells rugs? They do, and they have all colors and sizes for every room in your home. You can get a 5x8, an 8x10, and even room size 12x15, and they've got hundreds to choose from. And that's only at Corey's Furniture. You're going to love this place. Alabama Highway 169 in Opelika.
Vote for me. I'm Avery Wolfoff, the #1 fan for Auburn University at the Kickoff for a Cause benefiting the Ann Elizabeth Shepherd Home. Kickoff for a Cause will be held on August 27th at 6 p.m. at the Cunningham Center. For tickets or more information, go to www.twincedars.org/events. War Eagle!
Twin Cedars Kickoff for a Cause, benefiting the Ann Elizabeth Shepherd Home, August 27th, 6 p.m. in the Cunningham Center at CSU. For info and tickets, go to twincedars.org/events.
Come on, man. You're waking up with a Sports Visions morning show on Sports Visions 92.1. Now back to former Green Bay Packer DJ Jones and Troup Barringer.
Welcome back to Sports Visions morning show. DJ Jones and Richard Holdridge. We're only 10 days away from kickoff with a cause out at the Cunningham Center at Columbus State University. And, of course, it will officially, as far as we're concerned, kick off the high school, college, and, of course, the professional football season with a lot of good food, a lot of good fellowship, and a lot of great calls that, of course, the monies and funds that we'll be raising on behalf of the Ann Elizabeth Shepherd Home.
Yeah, and I'm glad I got to be a part of it last year. Looking forward to it this year. I always enjoy just that food and fellowship with the football fans, and we got the mascots, the cheerleaders, the sports memorabilia, and the silent auction, and, of course, watching the games. And I know you and Dave Platt are going to do a great job emceeing it.
Absolutely. Dave and I have been doing this now since its inception. And again, it's what a treat it is. But Richard, I did get a message. I got the text that the folks will be, holding you a couple of pounds of brisket, oversized. So don't worry about it. You go ahead and eat as much as you want while you're there. And then, of course, the 2 pounds of brisket, you'll be able to take that home with you.
Yeah, love the brisket, love the sliders and the buffalo dip. And they just got so much great food. And, yeah, definitely looking forward to being a part of it.
Absolutely. Tickets are individual tickets are only $75. But as we've been talking about, and, of course, we've had, again, Kim Rozicki here, who is the head ball coach of Kickoff with a Cause. She's the fearless leader and coordinator. She has been, on top of this, for quite some time since we started it. And it's an inception, which was, I think, 4 years ago. But, the thing about it, $75, in any other place, when you talk about, not only adult cold beverages, adult beverages, you're talking about brisket and tacos and sliders, and you're talking about, that's one. That the concession or the food or the food is one side of it. But when you talk about the sports memorabilia, the opportunity, that's the other side of it, where again, Don Staley signed basketballs. I've seen Kirby Smart sign basketballs, or at least footballs. Nick Saban autographed helmets from. Sweet. Jerseys. Joe Namath, Alabama, autographed. I've seen over the years, man, it's unbelievable. And then that's just the sports memorabilia stuff. When you talk about the day spas and the restaurant coupons and all of the things that you could bid on for a fraction of the cost, but all the money going to the cause, and that's the other part of it. And then in the room, the main room, of course, where you have, of course, DJ Cashflow controlling the vibes with all the great music and all the wonderful people, and everybody's in an upbeat and a very, very happy spirit and excited about the football season. That's another part. There's so many different things that you can pick out and say, well, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy myself. Well, you know what? If you can't find something that you could enjoy when there's multiple things going on in the same location, in the same room, and it's something special to see. And again, you can't forget the great calls and the great, purpose of this event. And again, that's taking care of wayward girls that are a part of this, of the Ann Elizabeth Shepherd Home and Twin Cedars, the whole nine. It's a beautiful thing.
It's such a good cause. And I know that it really sets the vibe and the tone for the upcoming football season. I know that week 0 in college football is that Saturday. Actually, we have got college football games on that Thursday.
Yeah.
NCAA Division II will be kicking off. I'm looking at the schedule right now. I don't think there's going to be any games that are going to be on TV, but we know that we'll have some replays of some of your favorite college football teams that are going to be displayed on the big screens. And I love seeing those replay games, and it's just a great atmosphere. And most importantly, all this is for a good cause. And that's why if you're a football fan, if you just love fellowship and food and just getting together with your tailgating buddies, this is a great way to kick it off at the Cunningham Center next Thursday. Not this Thursday, but next Thursday.
10 days away.
Yeah, 10 days away. You're right, DJ. August the 27th.
All right, Richard, now let's go ahead and get to the good stuff. Now, again, I know that the summer has come to an end for Kinley and Morgan, and obviously, I mean, what are you missing? Are you going to miss this time that they've been off, or are you happy that everything is going and school has started back?
Well, I'm happy that we're getting ready to get back to school. I mean, we've already back at school, and it's tough that the summer is finally coming to a close, but I know that we're back into the grind. We're back into doing the school thing, and it's just getting ready for this upcoming football season. But they stay busy with schoolwork, and then my youngest has got gymnastics, and we've got that season 2 going all over the state of Georgia for these gymnastics competitions. But this is what I do. I'm a gymnastics dad, and I just love being a dad and just trying to be as a part of their lives as much as I possibly can. Even though I got a busy schedule with the sports broadcasting, we still try to make it all work.
Absolutely. Speaking of sports, obviously the Columbus Clinkstones got a victory last night on the road in Birmingham, and they'll be back in town to host the Montgomery.
Montgomery Biscuits.
Biscuits. Yeah, that's right. We got, that's the opportunity. Listen, you might need to try to find a way to get down there to get to those biscuit people, man. I don't know if they are some of the same people that will be involved with the football program, but
I might.
The arena, hey, it doesn't hurt. The more people you know in the business down there, the better off you'll be.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The Montgomery Biscuits, they're the regional rival of the Columbus Cleanstones, just an hour and a half away. We expect a lot of Biscuits fans to make their way to Synovus Park. And get this, DJ, only 12 more home games left in the regular season, maybe even more if they can make it into the postseason. But if you want to make it out to a Cleanstones game this upcoming season, you've got some opportunities. They still have some promotional deals, some giveaways. And I know with the busy schedule we have at Georgia Alabama Sports Live, I'm thinking maybe Saturday nights might be that might be the best time to go, is maybe this Saturday night or Sunday afternoon because of our busy schedule at Georgia Alabama Sports Live. But they'll be back in action. Synovus Park, 7:06 first pitch, taking on the Montgomery Biscuits tomorrow.
And the fact of the matter is that the Columbus Clinkstones are very much in the thick of the second half playoff hunt. Sitting in third place in the Southern League South with a 24-21 record, 5 games back of the division leading Pensacola Blue Wahoos as of course, mid-August.
Yeah, Pensacola just doesn't stop losing because that lead was 3. Now it's 5 because Pensacola is just continuing to win. And you're kind of scoreboard watching. You're kind of hoping that Pensacola finds a way to maybe drop some games here because, the Cleanstones have been playing pretty good. I mean, they were able to take 5 out of 6 against Biloxi. They split the series with Birmingham, so they took 3 out of 6. So that's not bad. I mean, road trips are always tough, but now you got some ground to gain because Pensacola is just on a heater.
Jordan Groshans is a name that has really, really been popping up here pretty often as far as being successful and offering a lot of production. He and Johnny Gill, John Gill, same, what you think is the same one?
It's pronounced John Heel.
John Heel.
I first look at that and I'm thinking, man, we got to.
Why don't they just put a damn H in front of it instead? Put a G. Yeah. When does a G sound like a H? But anyway,
did he not want to just be confused with the new addition?
I get you. My. But they both had home runs, and again, they got the Heel had the clutch go ahead 2-run homer in the matchup, but the win helped the Clinkstones, like you said. Split their 6-game series against the Barons, and I tell you what, the Columbus is still right there, man. Still nip and tuck. Still have something to play for.
Yeah, no question about it. And that's why this 6-game series with the Montgomery Biscuits is very important, not only for them just to get out to a hot start. They need to win the series, but they also need to look and see what Pensacola is doing because a 5-game lead, Pensacola really – unless they get a big losing streak, I think Pensacola has a lot of confidence as we get ready, maybe a month left in the season. So there's going to be some opportunities to come out and see the Cleanstones. But hopefully they could get on a win streak. And we also got a scoreboard watch to see what Pensacola does. I'm actually pulling up the schedule. They actually at Chattanooga, home against the Rocket City Trash Pandas, and then they are. And I'm looking at this schedule right now. Yeah, at Chattanooga for the month of August, and then September they actually will be hosting the Pensacola Blue Wahoos for a 6-game series starting September 2nd, going all the way to September 6th.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's come a little closer to home with regards to Friday Night Lights in high school football. Obviously, we got a sample size of the games this past Friday night, of course, with all the GIAA local teams having some wonderful contests. And again, what I love about high school football is when you do have an action-packed game. I'm not big on those lopsided blowouts at all by any stretch of the imagination as far as me watching a game and enjoying a game. But, the Brookstone Cougars obviously got beaten by Westfield, but they had a gallant effort. 28-33 was the game. And, again, a lot of promise there for Ian Headley and his Brookstone Cougars. Big win for the Calvary Christian Knights, as well as going up against Bethlehem Christian, winning 23-24, actually 23-14, but just some crazy calls. But you know what? They held their composure, and Coach Brunson and his team weathered the storm and were able to come out with a victory. Smitty Griner, of course, had some big kahunas, made some calls down there, and they were on the road beating First Presbyterian Day 22-21 and to get their first victory. Now, if that is any indication of the season to come, that last Friday night and those 3 contests, man, I'm really looking forward to the games to come. But again, me personally, I just, I like good down home, just leave it in the mud kind of football. And the blowouts, man, they're for the birds.
And DJ, I do want to say this. Shout out to Middle Georgia Sports Live. They streamed 4 broadcasts on Friday night because they primarily have a lot of GIAA schools. So they streamed the Pacelli FPD game. They had Mike Peacock on the call as he made that trip to Macon to call the game. And they also streamed the Brookstone Westfield School. I mean, they streamed Mount DeSales and Tatnall as well. But, yeah, that was just an incredible effort by Middle Georgia Sports Live. And I know that they've returned the favor. We've turned the favor for them, providing talent over there. But I gotta say, we were scoreboard watching. Brookstone was down 33-14 against Westfield. They do get a touchdown. They get the onside kick, and they had the ball down 33-28. They had a chance to possibly pull that one out. So an incredible comeback by Brookstone. As Dillon Terry looked fantastic. Welcome back. I know he had that injury last year. I think Brookstone's going to be fine. Taking on a tough Westfield school team with Win Hoots, and they're going to be a championship contender. How about Pacelli getting the win 22-21? Cam Carino on that 2-point conversion. Coach Smitty Grider rolling the dice. And a lot of people were like, why couldn't they just kick the extra point and just go for overtime? But he felt confident in his run attack. They've been averaging about 5 yards a carry. All they needed was 2 yards. He felt confident that offensive line could get it done. And then they had Gabe Galarza ended up getting the game-winning interception because there was still time on the clock. FPD had a chance to maybe get in the field goal range and get the go-ahead score. But what a road victory by the Pacelli Vikings. So valiant effort from all 3 of our teams that were in action week 1 in the GIAA.
Absolutely. Hey, let's go ahead and take our final break of the day and let you know that you're watching Facebook Live as well as YouTube, and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sports Visions 921. We are your hometown sports guys.
This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
Let's do this.
Sports Visions 92.1.
Surprise. Wait, do I know you? You use your Discover Cashback card to earn 5% cashback on restaurants all quarter.
Yeah.
Now, it's payback time.
Whoa, hold on.
Go ahead.
Oh, you mean my Discover Cashback.
I told you there'd be payback.
You know, you have a weird way of delivering good news.
I'm working on that.
Activate and earn 5% cash back at different categories each quarter on up to $1,500 in purchases.
Terms apply. See discover.com/5 for details.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it.
But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The only live and local sports morning show. It's the Sports Visions Morning Show with Chattahoochee Valley Sports Hall of Famer DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer on Sports Visions 92.1.
Closing time.
Welcome back to the final segment of the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones and Richard Holdridge in the building. Richie Rich, I tell you, man, we've had quite a outstanding day, man. I mean, God, we were jam packed. We started there at 6:05 this morning with Case Rasmus, the head ball coach of the Phenix City Little League All-Stars that are up in Williamsport. They got a jam-packed schedule. We were able to get fitted in at the top of the doggone schedule.
Yes,
but I
did.
tell you what, it's all downhill, and it's been that way for past several days. And, of course, it'll go right up until they line up at 3 o'clock on Wednesday, this Wednesday, to play Northwest. Of course, that's Sound View out of Tacoma, Washington.
Yeah, and we are excited about it. Hopefully, you either watch it at home or we might end up having watch parties. I'm just excited just to rally around this incredible team that's going to be in the spotlight. You talk about great players like Kenley Rasmus, who's really stepped up as being one of the top players in this Little League World Series, like Uri Burkite, Riker Rasmus, Brooks Cameron. I mean, these players, and I know that we can mention all of them, but they have just been fantastic. And I hope that whatever outcome they have, that they are celebrated when they come home, that we want to do something, a celebration to honor them, because they have truly been amazing. Because we didn't really get that send off. Because
Rich, we haven't even played a game yet. You already talking about a send, welcome home,
but we didn't get a send off.
Let's be positive. Let's keep it moving. Let's worry about getting the victory.
No, I agree.
And let's keep it there. And
win or lose,
because they haven't even played. Got a couple more days.
Them. We appreciate them, and I hope that regardless of the outcome, that we celebrate them.
I'm ready for a game. I want to take them one step at a time. I'm not going to jump.
Play the games. I agree.
Let's do that. Also, of course, Coach Emmanuel Brunson, who was, of course, got his first victory of the season, and you had an opportunity to talk to him, and you were boots on the ground at that victory against who did they play?
Bethlehem Christian.
That's right.
Yeah, rematch of the playoff game last year where they went to Bethlehem, Georgia, and got the upset win. I felt confident that they were able to pull this off. Braxton Wilkinson looked fantastic in that first half. There were some special team miscues, but that was all. Bethlehem Christian got 14 points off of like a muff punt. They had great field position. They scored a touchdown, and then a blocked scoop and score off a field goal attempt. Otherwise, that score would have been way more than 23-14. Overall, what a great game by the Calvary Knights and a great effort on defense as well.
Absolutely. And also big ups to Tanner Glisson, the head ball coach for the Troup County Tigers. They'll be having their opening game this weekend. And again, Coach gave us a nice tour of the facilities as he was doing his interview with us this morning. And I tell you, that program has he rattled off some names of some kids in some of the biggest schools in America, man. And just hearing that alone, and you had a question about making the decision on what school is it? Troup, is it LaGrange, is it Callaway? But again, when you talk about a bio of that magnitude, it's a no-brainer when you hear that. Like I said, some of the main schools that some of these players have gone on to play at the next level.
Yeah, you talk about the talent that has come from the county itself in Troup County, whether it's LaGrange or Callaway, or even the Gap School, Lafayette Christian, who's had success as well. There's just so much talent in that area. And it really starts with those players buying into those systems. We talk about Troup County, and they have that rivalry with LaGrange. He talked about having that scrimmage against Callaway, which Callaway Stadium was absolutely packed out. I mean, they truly care about their football. up in the LaGrange area, and I can't wait to see how the season plays out.
And a guy who's in part responsible for your broadcast career, or at least your start, Dillon Griggs, from the head coach from the Russell County Warriors. He's had a lot of wonderful things to say about you, Rich. And again, you know what? Yeah. I concur. I mean, he says that he fell in love with your work ethic and your professionalism. And again, you have since propelled and gone to the next planet from those early days as the PA announcer for the Russell County Warriors.
Well, I definitely appreciate Coach Griggs for saying that. And it really, all it took was just taking a chance on me. I was unknown back in 2021.
Give the kid a chance.
Give him a chance. He could do it. And once I did it, I ran with it. And then, the rest is history, because the following year I was the play-by-play announcer for Russell County.
Yes.
On the CTV Beam. And then we all know what happened after that season.
Now you're in demand. You got folks bidding for you from all around the region, all over the state. Here you got GPB, NSF.
Oh, yeah. I got John Nelson on speed dial.
But the contract right now is with Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And, of course, you guys do a tremendous job. And, hey, man. You know what? Just keep getting better. Keep digging. Keep your head down and keep digging.
That's what I got to do. I got to continue grinding, continuing networking with these announcers. I mean, because you never know what opportunity you have. I mean, just being a PA announcer, I got to know other announcers, and I had opportunities to fill in for other broadcasters. So there are great opportunities. I've had a great opportunity at Georgia Alabama Sports Live going on my 4th year doing football, and it's been an incredible ride, and I can't wait to see what the future holds next.
Absolutely. And, of course, Nubyjus Wilborn, our good friend, who is now integral part of Bowtie Sports, and that's, of course, under the tutelage of D. Orlando Ledbetter.
Yeah, Nubyjus, love that guy. Nothing is out of bounds, including when we're making fun of that meme with Michael Penix and Tua. All in fun. It really is all in fun, but love the fact that he's going to be boots on the ground, covering the Falcons, and just getting that inside report from Nubyjus when it comes to the Falcons.
Absolutely. Well, one thing is for sure, you hear the music, and when you hear the music, you know what that means. That's right. Monday show is in the books, and that's going to do it for this edition of the Sportsvisions Morning Show. On behalf of Richard Holdridge, I'm DJ Jones, reminding you to keep your eye on the ball.
You've been listening to the Sportsvisions Morning Show with DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer. Brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services and the Finley Firm. This is Sportsvisions 92.1.
I feel it coming. Time is of the essence. I try to teach you, but I need some lessons. I need to give it all. I try to live, but I can't. I don't know why you're the one. Turn me out of my mind. You don't need no other body. You don't need no other body. Only you feel on my body. Only you feel on my body. You don't need no other body.
Say I made a mess up my mind. And I made it make you free of your mind. Say your body talk to me nice. Say now my love you didn't need for your life. Yeah, I love no be like. Say every day together.
Do you have diabetes and Medicare or other types of insurance? We have great news for you. Medicare and many other insurance